Don't pay attention to that. That's not the right thumbnail. The thumbnail that we're using for this evening is this one. Make sure you hit that like button. Um, I hope that everybody has managed to trickle in if they wanted to. I need to make a few adjustments to the games before we get started with those, so please give me a moment to do that. I'm going to be changing the command, and I'm open to suggestions unless I figure out how to do it quickly, and then I will probably do it very quickly. So, the command for the word game. Um, I wonder if guess would be a good word. Good word? I don't know. Anyways, if you're new here or you're just coming into this stream, welcome. My name is Kitchen, and this is Kitchen Court Cases, where we watch court in my kitchen. Today, what we are doing is a couple things. We're going to be watching court in the kitchen, we're going to be playing some games, and we are going to be chatting over in the chat. So, if you're lurking, that's cool. Feel free to lurk, but you can also say hi and ask any questions you might have. The hearings that we're going to be watching today are hearings that are older hearings. They're from the golden age of Zoom court, I would call it. The days that made a lot of us fall in love with Zoom court and online court proceedings, and they are a little different than the things that we normally see during adult proceedings because these are juvenile proceedings. So the things to keep in mind are um, that the kids are not given a presumption of getting bail, and so they are not getting bail. The determination is whether or not they are able to be released to a parent or guardian who can provide adequate supervision, and if they're possibly a danger to themselves or the community. The judge or his associate judges can make those decisions and basically detain kids for a long time. We've seen it happen. This is Texas, so there's some nuances that are fun to learn. If you're new, I'm Canadian, but I've been to Texas at the very least. Never to court. No, City Hall, not court. Anyways, let's get the playlist going. I need to bring it over to the screen. The computer. There we go. We are like 50 episodes deep into this series that we've been watching. And so it takes me a minute to figure out which episode we're on. But we will be starting shortly, and I will be explaining the rules in the chat. Also, there's no real rules. We vote to say if we think the kids are going to be detained or released. One for detained, two for released. But you can change your vote as many times as you want. And, we always like to learn. So, anyways, hi, everybody. I see you all in. Try. I don't know if we need like, is the exclamation mark the best precursor? I don't know that we necessarily need one, or if it can't be like something else. I guess the other ones are sort of used for other stuff, but anyways, I think try would be good. I was gonna say guess, word 69. That I don't want to take 69 out of the usage of the chat so that it triggers the game. But anyways, let's see, I can't get distracted. I got to get the show, literally the show on the road first, and then I can look for the game stuff and change it up. So, fuck. Yeah, we were in March. Yeah, we were. Oh gosh. Okay. What? What? Oh, geez. Huh. Oh, there's a spider on my monitor, on the monitor. There's a spider on the monitor, on the monitor. I'm not really fucking kidding. There it's crawling on the cord. There's a spider on my monitor, on my monitor. It's not muted. It's fucking taking a long time for Judge Kim to come to court today. Judge Kimmy Kim, we're ready to see you anytime now. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. This is the detention docket for Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. We are still under COVID protocols for detention hearings. All other hearings are in person. So we're conducting this via Zoom. However, in order to provide the public meaningful access to what occurs inside a public courtroom, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube. I'd like to remind everyone that no portion of this broadcast may be copied, recorded, or published. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the county jail and a $500 fine. This is also still a court proceeding, so the court does expect everyone to behave appropriately for court. So please have your cameras on. This, of course, if you're an officer of the court, you're excused from this requirement. Please do not have bright lights behind your head, as that tends to shadow out your face. And please do not have moving backgrounds or distracting noises like domesticated animals. So, all right. So we'll start with Lorenzo Bird. Mr. Bird, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Law says when a child's brought to our facility, you'll see a judge within 2 days, and I'll decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, we'll provide one for you. Your appointed attorney is Ms. Herrick.
Hello.
10-day hearing. Good morning, Lisa. This is a 10-day hearing, so I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. So Lorenzo, you had no prior history here, although you were brought in December of 20 for evading arrest, and then we let you go, and then you received a supervisory caution. So on January 27th, you were brought in. There's dispatch to Northern Cross Apartments, stomping noise, and a neighbor thought it was just the neighbor making noise. Then she came out, saw a female victim laying on the ground with a pool of blood under her head, and two witnesses, one an off-duty officer, seeing two young males in the area. They found the victim's phone in a nearby apartment complex. Now looking for two suspects from surveillance footage. And let's see. This is where there's admission that the suspect stabbed the victim in the neck, trying to get her car keys. And, oh, that's right. This is the Uber Eats driver. All right, Mr. Bird, I'm just due to the seriousness of this offense, the attempts by you or your companion to evade the jurisdiction of this court and flee to... Yes.
I think you're about to make a good point, but I do want to remind you, in the past, at his detention hearings, you've said that you would consider releasing him because he has had at least one responsible adult on every single detention hearing Zoom call that we've had so far. And I do also want to remind you that the allegations of the attempt to flee the jurisdiction and making calls to arrange for that, those are not alleged to have come from Lorenzo. He is not the one who's alleged to have made those calls or attempted to flee the jurisdiction. He has also been on level 1 the entire time he's been in detention.
Right. No, I understood, Ms. Herrick. A lot of this is the seriousness of the offense and my concern about the danger to the public on the aggravated robbery that turned into a homicide and the capital murder charge. And so I understand. Lorenzo, I'm glad you're level 1 outstanding. That's not lost on me, but this is just such a tragic outcome on this case that links you to the case that I'm not comfortable releasing you yet. So I'm going to continue to detain you. Certain things are just so serious, I'm just extra cautious on. All right? All right. Thank you, Mr. Bird. Thank you, Ms. Herrick.
Yeah, thank you, Judge.
Right. Yamoni Gabriel.
Your Honor, if I may?
Yes.
Frank Minicon is covering for Mr. Victorson, and he just called me and asked me to tell you that he is having some difficulty getting onto the Zoom feed.
Okay, that's fine. We have Mr. Lewis, since you spoke up, you're drafted as representing the APD on this matter. So, all right, Moni, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 business days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to attorney. Mr. Willett is your appointed attorney. Is Brian here?
Right there.
Oh, good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
So, Moni, see, you were here in January of last year for assault family violence, and our juvenile probation department decided you needed supervisory caution. So you're released into the community, asked not to reoffend. And so Arlington PD brought you in yesterday at about 6:45. Police were dispatched regarding you and your sister fighting. They spoke to you, mom, and your sister. All confirmed the fight started over you not wanting to share food with your sister. Threw a plastic container of muffins at your sister. And then your sister said you both threw punches at each other, but one hurt bad enough to made her fall to the ground. She couldn't lift her arms. So mom said she would take your sister to get x-rays. All right, so Mr. Lewis, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot. First question is, in this case, so first question is, how old is the sister? Do we know? Or mom is here. Okay, hi, Mom.
Hello.
Okay, you can answer these questions. How old is Moni's sister?
14.
14, okay.
Yeah.
And when she was here last year, in 2020, for assault family violence, who was the victim in that case?
It was me.
It was you. Okay.
Yeah.
So my question for you, Mom, is in the last year and 2 months, has there been other fights that the police weren't called to?
No, just severe arguments.
Just, okay, but nothing physical.
No.
All right. So what's going on with the Moni where?
Imani deals with a lot special mentally. Imani has a huge problem with anger. So when you tell her something that she doesn't like or hear, that's when the anger come out. And sometimes it can be aggressive. She don't know when to calm down. She doesn't like redirection. She doesn't like discipline. She doesn't like guidance. Nothing that's positive. She feels that she's an adult. So then here comes the problems. Because in my household, I'm the adult.
So I'm sorry, just before you burst off there, Mom. Again, you have to be realistic with what you say. If you're new here, this is like my red flag. I just use red kitchen tools that I find. This is the reality. What she just said, let's re-rack that, because she said, this child won't accept all of these things I say to them. She won't accept discipline. She won't accept, was it critique? She won't accept redirection. It's like, oh, shock. I'm shocked. And I bet you're just super nice about it when you tell her as well. And I'm not saying it's not always it can't be the other way, but these are things you have to think about when you are wondering why kids are doing things the way they're doing. Oh, she won't do this, she won't do that, she won't do this are red flags to me for parents. I have a teenager of my own, and I am also I'm a retired child. I was a bad child and bad kid for the most part. So, yeah. Anyways, let's continue with them doing their little dance. I get a little frustrated. I'm setting up the game here separately. Make sure, yeah, I'm looking, I'm going to pull her down. I was trying to cut Judge Kim's head off because I just think he would hate that. Whatever. I'm not petty at all.
Me and my husband, we the ones that pay the bills. We the ones that make the rules. But in Imani's mind, that's not the way it go. So it's a lot of defiance.
And just as so my ADD allows that to go one more second, and I see our Fulmer's comment, but some kids do have oppositional defiance disorder. Absolutely right. You're looking at one. Oppositional defiance disorder is believed to be either genetic and something that a child is born with, or you can parent a child into having oppositional defiance disorder. If you're disruptive as a parent, that child can possibly become very oppositional. And it is well shown that you can absolutely parent a child into oppositional defiance disorder. The as far as I was aware, and maybe this has changed since I've never gone to school for any of this, but what I learned on the internet was the sort of difference between conduct disorder and oppositional defiance disorder is an adult and contact with the juvenile justice system. So I think that, yes, some of these kids absolutely are oppositional, but I understand where they're coming from as an oppositional person and somebody who had untreated ADHD until I was in my late 20s. I was very oppositional as well. Not with everybody. Some people, for some reason, had the ability to approach me in the right way. But for a lot of situations, especially with like everybody on this screen, my God, I say it all the time. I would have been in Kimbo for my whole uh, youth if I had gotten stuck in there because it would be very difficult for me to deal with him.
Apologize for interrupting, but how much of this is being a 16-year-old girl and how much of it is not normal?
It's normal. I think every teenager is like that. It's very normal.
Because you remember when you were 16 and you probably went.
I think it's different of how you raised, because at 16 I was nowhere like that. So sometimes it's peer pressure, but it's a lot of 16-year-olds out there that do what they're supposed to do, follow rules and guidelines. I just think that some teenagers just want to take that risk and do what they want to do.
Right. Okay, so Mom, I'm going to ask you this now. You said there may be mental health issues. Have you taken her to see a mental health doctor?
Yes, Imani has had her own psychiatrist and therapist where she was seen taking meds for what they diagnosed her with. But as Imani grew, in her mind, she felt like, now I can make my own choices and decisions. I don't want to go no more. So then that was a battle of getting her to go see a doctor.
So when's the last time she saw a doctor?
Last year.
When last year?
I want to say it was around before school got out in May.
Oh,
around
okay.
May. Yes.
So it's been a while, and she just refuses to go to the doctor?
Yes, she says that it's for crazy people, that she's not crazy.
All right, but, normal people aren't in Kimbo 2 times in 2 years.
Right.
Okay, so, well, Mom, this is where I'm at. So okay. I'm kind of, the offense, I get it, sisters fight, and it happens. So that makes me want to release her, but I'm afraid if I release her, we're just putting her back in the exact same situation that she was in. Okay, and that worries me because I believe you and your other daughter deserve to be safe in your home.
Right.
It also concerns me that there's a diagnosed mental health issue that's not being treated and addressed. So, Ammonia, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and detain you. I'm going to order a psychiatric evaluation. So when your mom told you to go to the doctor, when you refused to, well, now we've gotten to the point where now you have to see a doctor. All right. You didn't have a choice. It would have been better if you just listened to your mom in the first place. Your mom's not here. She's here to make your life difficult only because she's here to give you guidance and structure. But if you refuse to do that, then you end up in front of a judge. I'm sorry it had to happen this way. So we'll have the psychiatrist come visit you. Mom, if you can get Mr. Victorson. So I'm sure you talked to him already. Oh, there's Mr. Minicon. So Mr. Minicon, if you can tell Mr. Minicon what prescription she was on before, that's information we can get to our psychiatrist as a good starting point and may let us know if you know what she was diagnosed with. That's the information that we need that helps our psychiatrist to get Imani better treatment, okay? So once she gets the prescription and she has taken it and it looks like she's willing to take her prescription, we'll just do like 3 days of level 1 outstanding, okay? And then once she does that, that tells me she's taking her medication, she's on it, and then we'll go ahead and release her, okay, to you. But Mom, you have to make a promise to me that if she refuses to take her medication, that you have to let us know, and we will bring her back here. Okay?
Most definitely, yeah.
And she needs to see a doctor every 6 weeks, so you'll have to set up a follow-up appointment. And
Okay.
that is because teenagers, their brains are changing and the prescription changes. And so she needs to see a doctor regularly to make sure, because you know what? I believe your daughter that the medication wasn't working. That's because it had been too long between seeing doctors. Adults, we can wait longer for mental health medication.
Right.
Teenagers, their brains change, so it has to be every 6 weeks. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, Mom, what I expect from Mamoni is that she sees the doctor, she's truthful, she gets her medication, she takes her medication, behaves, she gets out of here. But when she does, Mom, what I expect from you is you let us know if she still has an attitude or refuses to take her medication or refuses to go back to the doctor. Okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, Imani, I see your hand is raised. So if you have a question for me, I don't mind answering your question. But if you want to tell me something, your attorney, Mr. Willett, does not want you to tell me anything. All right. So do you have a question or do you want to tell me something?
No, I was saying my name is E.
Whoa. When you say I'm saying, then that's not a question. All right. Do you have a question for me?
My name is Imani. Not
Imani. Oh, I apologize. Imani. Okay. All right, Imani. Well, hopefully you understand what I expect from you. Just do your part and you'll get out of here. If you do it your way, you're not getting out of here. Okay? All right. Thank you, Imani.
This way, Mom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel Garcia. All right, Mr. Garcia, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And we have appointed Mr. Adler as your attorney. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Judge.
You're in the building, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you can swing by the courtroom after, I had a question for you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Daniel. So you're 16 years old. Fort Worth, let's see. You had no prior history. Fort Worth PD brought you in on January 23rd. According to the police report, went to the victim's location. So your daughter was the ex-girlfriend of your current girlfriend. And that you and the current girlfriend arrived there with a third party wanting to fight. There was a fight. Family members broke it up. And as Daniel and the two girls were leaving the scene in the vehicle, he allegedly pulled out a small gun and shot towards his girlfriend's ex. People standing on the porch, one was hit in the shoulder. Shell casings were found. And there was a car chase. Daniel's vehicle wrecked, taken into custody, and a Glock was recovered. Oh, this is where they're saying that you threw a Glock 9mm pistol in the children's area of a restaurant. And then there was a 11-month-old baby in the car of the car you were driving when you wrecked out. All right, Mr. Lewis, what I'm missing from this report is I'm not sure who identified Daniel as the one shooting the gun.
As I understand it, the alleged victims, the ex-girlfriend, her mother, and stepfather.
So all three of them saw him shoot?
I believe, well, I'm not clear on that point. I can look at the police report, but they are the parties that identified him as the suspect.
Okay. You may want to follow up on that one, Mr. Lewis, because I'm not sure how to link him to the actual shooting. I just have to know who saw him shoot. But Daniel, the problem here is a waitress saw you hide the gun in the children's seating area of a restaurant. So, and then
Judge, I think he was pursued by the stepfather and may have actually been like held down for the police to get him.
right. Yeah, I don't see anything I don't see the PC for him actually shooting. This report just says he was identified, but doesn't say who identified him. But the report does say that they saw Daniel drive the car, leave the car, and leave the baby in the car after the wreck. So as far as the charge of abandoning a child, there's PC on that. Mr. Lewis, I probably want to fix this report and find that out
Well-
for the next detention hearing.
Judge, can I add something,
Yes.
please? So several of the facts or several of the statements you just said are going to be in dispute, at least as the key elements of the facts, whether somebody was actually hit with any gunshots or whether my client actually shot the gun. That's going to be in dispute. But more importantly, Judge, just for this detention hearing, I'd like to point out, like Ms. Herrick did earlier, he's on level 1. And unlike a lot of our other cases, this young man has a strong family support. His mom doesn't work. She's at home. If you put him on the electronic monitor under strict house arrest, I can guarantee you this mom will not let him go anywhere but church or wherever you allow him to go. So it asks that you give him a chance on the electronic monitor just because of the strong family support. And mom is here and can tell you everything I just told you.
Yeah, that's something I'll consider, but right now, I feel like the previous offense report mentioned that who saw him shoot the gun, but everything about this, just the violence between going over there for a fight and then a car chase, wrecking out, there's an 11-month-old baby in the car, hiding a gun in the children's waiting area of a restaurant, everything else, even if he didn't shoot the gun, I mean, it sounds like a kid that's just out of control. Like, his life is Grand Theft Auto, right? And so I have a problem with it. Like, I'm not sure he has any remorse or any consideration of the danger, especially if there's a car chase, how many people were in danger during the car chase.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this is a safety of the community as well as a child issue that I'm just deeply worried about. I'm not there yet. I mean, these behavior levels used to mean a lot more to me. It turns out that, they're not as reliable as I thought they were. So I'm really not sure. So I have to be a lot more cognizant.
I hate you, Judge Kim, for that. I can't. The dog's crying. I'm listening and chatting, but before I run out the door and take her pee again, he's just taking away anything. It's like he was like, oh, they have some hope. How can I get rid of that?
Of what the children have done before.
Can I add one last thing, Judge?
Yes.
Not that it's going to change your mind, but this is like a one-off situation. Never been in trouble before.
Yeah, I saw that. It just went from 0 to 100. If it's true, it went from 0 to 100.
Good family, siblings are working, doing the right thing, and just maybe for the next one, if I can remind you of that. And
Okay,
if
please.
he stays on level 1
Please do.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Adler. Roderick Jones.
He's on his way.
All right, Mr. Jones, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your appointed attorney, Mr. Adniji, I think is here. Latif? He was in the courtroom earlier. All right. Well, Ms. McGonigal, I ask you to step in for Mr. Adniji. All right, Mr. Jones, I'm familiar with this case. This is the one where it was a sleepover and there's an update to the report. Arlington police were dispatched to a shooting in progress. When they got there, met with the victims. Mr. Petty opened the door, said he woke to a loud noise and heard Lucas's mother voice pleading with him not to shoot her, and then the sound of gunfire. When he left the bedroom, Lucas pointed a revolver-style handgun at him, fired it once, missing. Then Lucas pulled the trigger the second time, but was out of ammunition. Then Lucas left the house with a friend that was spending the night. The investigation said Lucas' mom had been shot in the torso and her boyfriend was shot in the head with no pulse. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Police found Lucas and his friend Roderick, apprehended them. And there was admissions that Lucas and Roderick were planning out because Roderick wanted to hit a lick. Roderick planned to kill Chris, and he wanted Lucas to kill his own mother and Andre, Mr. Petty. So that Chris had 2 guns in the home, and the boys hid them away while they're playing video games, woke up early when everyone's sleeping. That Roderick used a 9mm handgun to kill Chris. And then Lucas admitted that he waited until his mother approached, pointed the revolver at her, shot 2 to 3 times, then shot at Mr. Petty but missed. And then left. He gave the guns to Roderick's brother. Roderick refused to speak to the magistrate until a search warrant was executed and found a revolver and a handgun, 9mm handgun. Surveillance video showed 2 individuals matching the descriptions of you two. Audio was captured saying, from Lucas to you shot him, and then the person that looked like you said, shit, give me the guns, before you took the guns. So. Yeah, Mr. Jones, just the seriousness of the offense of executing somebody while they're sleeping, allegedly, it was just too serious, too much of a danger if I was released to the community. Sit down. If you don't want to be here, if you don't want to see me, tell your attorney, just have the hearing and then be done with it. But if you think you're going to impress me as you have a certification hearing coming up, deciding whether I keep jurisdiction over you and release and keep you in the juvenile courts, or to give up my jurisdiction and transfer you to the adult courts, my decision for a large part is based on who you are as a person, whether you are in fact a juvenile where we can rehabilitate you and help you and release you back to the community, or if there's nothing I can do for you in the juvenile system, then I should just transfer you to the adult courts where you're looking at potentially a life in prison sentence. If you think standing up, turning your head, rolling your eyes, and walking out on me impresses me and makes me think that as a juvenile that I can help you, then tell your attorney you just want to be certified as an adult so you can go through the adult system. But if you think your attitude is the kind that impresses me to make me think I can actually help you as a kid, that you're acting like a kid, that you deserve to be treated like a kid, then you know what? You need to start showing me that you're respectful to the court, to the process. You're not doing yourself any favors. Yes, Mom, do you have a question?
The reason why he just was about to get up, because he's so used to the last hearing we had, it's like as soon as you read his case, it was like you was like, we didn't have nothing to talk about, and he left. I didn't even get acknowledged. So that's why he just got up and was about to leave.
Okay, and that is his right. And if he wants to be like an adult with an attitude that he's too good for this and I'm wasting his time, then that's fine. And that's what the adult courts are for. But if he's going to act like a juvenile, where it's a kid truly understanding who the situation is in, the remorse, the humbleness to a court, because it's purely my decision whether I give up my jurisdiction or not. There is no law that says I have to. There's no law that says I can't, right? It's just up to me. And if he's trying to impress me like that, if he wants to act all tough and gangster, then he can. But that impresses upon me on what decision I should make. Yes, Mom, did you want to say something else?
I don't think that he was trying to act hard when he just got up. He was just gonna leave out because he thought that you was done talking to him. It wasn't that he was trying to act hard.
Mom, stop making him the victim. He was getting up while I was still talking. He didn't think I was done. So he was trying to flex on me and show me that he's too good for me, that he doesn't need to listen to what I have to say. There's nothing I say that matters to him. If that's what he wants, that's fine. That's his choice. But his choices in his life is what led him to this position, and his choices in life is what's going to dictate what happens in the future. And either one day he can wake up and realize he's making bad choices, or one day he can wake up and say, I need to start making better choices. But he's not the victim in this, and I'm not blaming him. I mean, that's him. I'm just advising him that every one of his actions, every single one of his actions will be viewed and interpreted and considered when it's time for me to decide, and it's only me to decide whether I certify him as an adult or not. All right, Mom?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jones. You can get up now. Elton Olive. Kim, this is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Youngblood as your attorney. Good morning, Edwin.
Morning, Your Honor.
So, Edwin, January 12th, we had a out-of-custody detention hearing for violating your probation and non-compliance with substance abuse treatment recommendations. Back in November of last year, there was an administrative hearing about you violating your probation, like curfew, leaving home without permission for hours at a time during the middle of the night, possible drug use, and not going to school. You said that you need to do better and you would do better. And 2 weeks later, we gave you a drug test positive for marijuana. And before you had denied using drugs. And so we gave you a drug curriculum. A week later, mom reported runaway because she woke up and you weren't at home. The next day, you snuck out of the house in the middle of the night again. 2 days later, 2:45 in the morning, you were not home. 3 days later, we got images from an assistant principal at the school saying you're about to be expelled for not attending. And you admitted not going to school. 2 weeks later, give you a drug test, still positive for marijuana. 3 weeks later, you're supposed to go to Phoenix House in Dallas, but you refused to participate. Then 3 days later, TYRC recommended inpatient treatment. Mom says you continue to be disrespectful, continue to smoke marijuana and not go to school. You come home late. When she asks you where you were, you get disrespectful, and that you steal money from mom. And you have a history going back when you were 13 with assault, family violence. You're 15 with a fail to ID, mail theft, engage in organized crime, which you got probation for. And that's what you're still on probation for. No. What is, Mr. Youngblood, what's the plan for this one? Do we know?
Well, Your Honor, there was supposed to be, and I guess there was, a psychological exam scheduled, and the reports were supposed to be due on the 15th. Email is not necessarily reliable, but I don't see a copy of that report, so I'm not sure what the plan is right now. You had talked with him some time back, saying that you were thinking of either replacement for his behaviors or TJJD because he was already on felony probation. I think you said that in January.
Yeah. This is one of those where TJJD just may be the most appropriate thing. I mean, it's runaway and smoking weed. I mean, there's no placement you can really help with that. It's just
no, sir, but I would like to see that psychological if it exists.
Your Honor, Mr. Youngblood, there's a copy in JCMS. I can also send you a copy as well.
Okay, I don't have access to JCMS, so yes, please do.
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Olive, at this point, I'm looking over this. It looks to me, based on your history and what you've done with our juvenile probation department, you're a thief and a liar. And I just think if I was to let you go, you would just run away again, smoke more weed, and not go to school. So I'm going to continue to detain you. Thank you. Jakari Wynn. Thank you, Mr. Youngblood.
I'm going to stay on because I have another one later. It says Judge Terry will be hearing it, so I'm assuming this is the correct link, though.
Yes, it'll be in the same channel.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Witt, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days. Ms. Smith, for what purpose did you request this hearing?
Good morning, Your Honor. I am requesting the court to consider an early release of Mr. Jakari. And before we begin, Your Honor, I do want to make a correction to the report summary that you are reviewing at this moment. That report summary is actually not accurate, Your Honor. It alleges that Jakari was the only person in the vehicle. However, there were 4 other juveniles also found in that vehicle. I am asking the court to consider early release of Mr. Chikari. He would like me to express to the court that he is ready to go back to school. His mom has brought school verification that he's enrolled in school. He just wants to get back into sports. He wants to commit himself to his academics. He knows now that he needs to stay away from bad influences. Currently in the home, there's mother that will help with his supervision, along with a grandmother. And he has 2 younger brothers that he helps care for as well, Your Honor. Let's see. He goes to church, I believe, every other weekend with his grandmother. He's looking forward to going back to that. He is asking the court to consider releasing him. He is a level 1 outstanding today, Your Honor.
So here's, I guess, a couple questions. First of all, Ms. Alonso, are you here?
Yes.
Okay, so questions. So whose car was this? It was an unauthorized use of motor vehicle. Do we know whose car it was?
No, it was a report that it was reported stolen.
Okay. Has victim services reached out to the owner of the vehicle?
From what in the notes there, I believe they haven't.
Oh, okay. Here we go. I'm looking at victim's report. The vehicle was totaled and they only had liability. So let's find out how much the restitution is. Let's make those people whole and then I'll consider releasing them. All right, Ms. Smith. But I mean, at this point, he went on a car chase, drove down the wrong side of the road, wrecked out a car that he stole, and then got out of the car and ran again. So,
and Your Honor, with all due respect, I would like to bring it to the court's attention that the facts in this case are going to be in dispute as to whether or not my client was actually driving.
I understand. So I would just like the restitution go ahead and put in trust aside so it's there if we need it, or at least a substantial part of the restitution, so that as the case goes forward, if he in fact did do it, then we can be on the steps to making the victims whole on this one. But I mean, he drove down the wrong side of the road, like towards oncoming traffic, crashed out.
Again, I just want to emphasize that we are disputing that he is the driver.
And Ms. Smith, I understand that, but I mean, I'm looking at the police report, and for probable cause purposes, they're articulating, I'm assuming that's true. Not to mention, it certainly doesn't look good for Mr. Witt when he jumped out of the car and ran. Like if he was an innocent party, then he doesn't need to be running from the police. He needs to get out and be like, the driver's crazy, right? I'm not the driver. Stay where he's seated in the car so the police knows it wasn't him. But all his decisions were just poor decisions. And so at this point, Mom, Dad, you need to start looking about how getting money together so we can put aside money for restitution. Because what the police are saying is your son was a driver and caused this person to lose their car and maybe lose their job or daycare, whatever problems that they have now because their car got totaled. All right, thank you, Mr. Witt. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Xander Walensky.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Cindy as a probation officer. I believe his dad, Mr. Kenneth Walensky, also wanted to join via Zoom.
Yeah, he was in the waiting room. He was like
okay.
12, 13 minutes late to court. So
no worries. Okay.
Mr. Walensky?
Yes, sir.
Xander, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're out of custody. Okay. All right, Xander, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to take you into custody or to leave you in the community. If I take you in custody, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Hopkins is here. So, let's see. Yesterday, we found out you were unsuccessfully discharged from TYRC. On Friday, about 3 o'clock, they're saying you assaulted one of your peers during a basketball game because you wanted a basketball that the other kid had. And so they kicked you out. You violated curfew on March 20th. You were given permission to go to a friend's house and told to be back by 2 p.m. You didn't come back until the next morning. You have a history of runaway. You've been here 4 times as a runaway. You're on probation for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Since February, when we released you, you've made no progress toward your treatment goals. You constantly need redirection and intervention from the staff. Your constant conflict appears on staff at TYRC. And you keep on saying that you understand there's consequences to your actions. And you're not engaging in individual or group sessions. You received a level hold for conflicts with your peers and a level hold for taking medication from another peer. So you're basically using drugs from another kid there. You said you understood that violations moving forward would be an administrative discharge. So before you were unsuccessful at outpatient treatment at TYRC, you're unsuccessful at inpatient treatment at TYRC. Standard decisions have, look, good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions. Looks like you made a bunch of bad decisions. Hopefully this is the experience that you understand that now looking forward, you need to start making good decisions. So if you can't do the bare minimum at TYRC, I'm absolutely certain if I was to release you to your mom, that you would cause more problems there. So yes, your hand is raised. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I just want to ask, like, can you like let me like strap me on the monitor? I just want one more chance because I really want to prove that I can do this. Like that I can finish out probation. I can do this. Like I really can, and I know I can.
Oh, I know you can. I just don't think you will. So you want one more chance. You understand how many chances you've had. You've had a bunch of chances.
Yes, sir, and I understand.
You keep on thinking, and that may be part of the problem, is that you've gotten too many chances. Like everyone's giving you another chance. Who knows how many chances your mom gave you and your dad gave you over the years? And at a certain point, you just run out of chances. Yeah, do you have another question?
Yes, sir, and I understand that, but I just want to say, like, can you just give me this last chance? If I mess up, you send me straight off to TJJD or placement or whatever.
Well, so 2 things. One, when you took probation for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, that was your one more chance. And every chance you've had after that is you burning chance number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20, 30, 50. These are the extra chances. You're now asking for chance number 79. And at a certain point, somebody's going to stop giving you chances. And the second thing is when you say, if you...
Judge Kim doesn't even have the balls to say 69. Nobody says 79. There's no chance. No. If you're gonna be the boss of the jail, own it then, my dude. Oh, I'm under the game. Okay. I'm coming over here. I want to explain the game to those of you that might be new here. This is something that we're trying out. It's a word game, very much like Wordle. And so how it works is you are trying to guess a 5-letter word. You can see there's a key at the top here. The green means the letter is right and it's in the right spot. Not only is it the right letter, but it's in the right spot. If it's yellow, it means that letter is in the word, but it's not in that spot. And if it's gray, it is just wrong. That letter is not included in the word. So you don't have to worry about the time running out, but you do have to worry about your turns running out. Okay, so you only get 6 turns as a chat altogether to try and guess the word. And you can absolutely work together. I see somebody in the chat mentioning that they often start with like audio, I think it is. But anyways, that is something, if you're not interested in playing this game, then tonight might not be the night for you. I'm just going to be honest, because that's probably what I had planned for the rest of the night. That along with detention dockets. So anyways, plus I also really want to make like haikus with all of the 6 like words and then make up little like Mad Lib stories with them. Why is it not taking answers? Why don't I turn it off and turn it back on again? Because that's how we make things work. There is a space between No, so there's no space. So how you guess is exclamation mark, lowercase t, lowercase r, lowercase y, and then space, and then your 5-letter word. So I wrote all those instructions. What I needed to write was that command, basically, which is what I'll do now. And we'll get going. Oh, and like. Thank you, Donna, for reminding me. Everyone, please hit that like button. I do appreciate it. It means a lot. It's very helpful. Bye to everybody who's leaving. Peace out. We don't care.
If you violate your one more chance, I could send you to TJJD. I don't think you understand. I can already send you to TJJD. I don't need your permission. That's what you're trying to do right now. Is you're bargaining and you're negotiating with me. Tell me one thing you've done. Tell me one thing you've done that deserves another chance.
I stopped using the pills like I wanted to.
So you're not abusing drugs as much as you want to. That's what you've done, right?
No, but like
because you were taking other kids' prescriptions. So tell me what you've done that you've done right.
I could have just ran this morning.
So you didn't break the law. You didn't avoid coming to the court. So you want a cookie for showing up in court when you're supposed to?
No, sir.
So you want credit for doing what you're supposed to do?
No, sir.
You want credit for the fact that you didn't run from court?
No, sir.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about. This should be the experience that you take, and you make better decisions going forward. So either wake up one day and say you're going to do the right thing, or decide you're not going to. This will be very miserable. Yes, sir.
This is my wake up, Your Honor. Like, please, I'm just asking you for one more chance. Like, for real. Like, I don't even.
You've done nothing to deserve another chance. So, and the thing is, I can see this. I remember your dad showing up on Zoom. Now, he was late to Zoom, so I didn't let him in. Because when people are late to court, there's a consequence. This is your dad's consequence. He understands. He's not going to whine about it. He's not going to ask for more chance. Next time, he'll be at court on time, even through Zoom. All right? This is the way life works, and you need to understand that. Maybe you can learn something from your dad. You may not think he knows much, but at least he's not going to come and cry to me the fact that he didn't get to attend the court session for his son because he was late. He understands. That's the consequence. I see the look on your mom's face. She's frustrated. She's tired. She's giving you one more chance after chance. And there's times where you beg for one more chance and you promised her you'll do right. You're not going to run away again. You're not going to do it again. I'm just, Xander, here's the thing. You lie enough times and people stop believing you. I just don't believe you. You're a liar. So prove to me that you're not a liar and that you can be truthful with me, and then people will start believing you. Yes.
I was going to ask.
One more chance?
No, I was going to say a monitor, but then.
Yeah, so you're asking me for one more chance. Like, do you think that if you ask me enough times, I'm finally going to say yes? Because I'm thinking that probably is what your mom does. But that's okay, because that's what moms are supposed to do. Moms are supposed to love you and care for you and give you chance after chance. The problem is you never figured out the difference between your mom and a court. And when you're dealing with a court, there's really no love here, right? So there are kids that are here that they want to do better and make positive changes in their life, and I want to devote my attention to those kids because we can set them on the right path. I don't want to waste my time on kids that are just in their mind, they're telling me what I want to hear just so they can fool the system and work the system. And that's what you're trying to do.
No.
That's what you're trying to do. Right? Because if I let you go, you're going to run away again. You know you will. You're going to use more drugs. You know you will. You can lie to your mom and be disrespectful to her because you know you will. I mean, you're going to. You know you will. All right? So wake up. Grow up. Thank you, Xander. Paul Williams. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Hopkins.
Have a great day.
No, you too.
That's fine.
Oh, that's what I did.
Yes. I don't have one here.
Oh, okay.
Psychiatric, yes. All right, Mr. Williams, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to take you into custody or to leave you in the community. If I take you into custody, you will see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Hamrick, Mr. Newman is appointed as your attorney. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, so, Mr. Williams, you were placed on probation in Milam County on March 10th through July 16th of next year. We were supervising you until February 4th when we accepted your probation out of Milam County for permanent supervision. So you completed reach, other conditions of probation. In February, your aunt found a picture with you and a gun and a large amount of money that was unexplained. Are you aunt? Are you with him? Okay, good. Thank you, aunt. I believe that we can do amazing things for kids when the family and the courts work together. So the aunt said the picture was taken in her home and had on the same clothes, and she was sure to the jacket being new. She said she wanted us to know, and she would allow search for the home for weapons. And you were unwilling to continue with FPP reach. So we followed up. She did not call the police since she could search and she couldn't find the weapon on her own. Then she said you had some unusual behavior, left Waco without permission, and went with mom. And is he not allowed to be with a mother?
He had permission to go to Waco. I mean, he didn't have permission to go to Waco. He had permission to go and go be with his grandmother. I had no knowledge of his mother being there. He was placed with me through CPS, and to my understanding, there's supposed to be no communication between them. He had permission to go and be with his grandmother because it was a death, but outside of him being with the grandmother, no one else had permission to get him.
Is there...
Your Honor, if I may interject, he's been to Waco twice in the past month and a half or so. The first time was early February when he had permission. This last time he didn't have permission. He said he did. Aunt said he didn't. I lost contact with him for a little over a week.
Okay. Is there a pending CPS case, or is that closed out?
She had court today with the CPS, so I'm thinking that it's still pending.
Okay, thank you. Where does mom live? What county does mom live in?
In McLennan County.
McLennan County in Waco. Okay, good. All right, so let's see. Ms. Burns trying to make contact with you, Ms. Williams, and your aunt. However, it was unsuccessful. They tried to reschedule an administrative hearing, which was on March 19th. And you said the picture was over a year old and you no longer had the gun, despite the aunt saying it was recent.
Because this is the thing, Your Honor. I don't want anyone to think that I'm upholding him in his wrong, so I'm not going to lie for him.
Yeah, because you know what? When he's a grown man, when he's an adult, nobody's going to lie for him either.
Right.
Or the ones that will lie for him are not good people.
Right. And I wanted him to understand that I'm going to go to bat for you regardless, but you have to own up to your mistakes. I can't help you if I don't know where to help you. And if you're doing things behind my back, there's no way that I can protect you, or there's nothing that I can do to help you, because you have to keep in mind that I have other kids in my house as well. And it freaked me out to know that a 17-year-old boy had a gun when there's other people in the household that I have to worry about as well. And I've searched my whole house. We went through, literally tore everything up, and we didn't find one.
And I'm telling you, you are showing me signs of integrity and righteousness. And I respect you for that.
He's my nephew, and I love him, and I want the best for him, but I can't give him the best if he's doing something that I can't protect him behind.
Right. And where's Parkside?
It's in Waco, Texas.
It's in Waco. Yeah, so looking at that, that thing about social media. Yeah, that's like what I call it, self-snitching, Mr. Williams. This is not your aunt's
Yeah, Judge Kim, it would look so much cooler if you whipped out your cell phone and pulled up their social media profile instead of pulling out a photocopied piece of paper. Wow, look at this. It's the critical link. I get self-snitching, but seriously, come on, dude. Anyways, I just think that's funny. We will continue. I have an idea for the next round after this day of hearing because it's a long one. We'll see what happens. But I I have yeah, I'm working on the bots. I'm working on the bots. It's hard. You have to like program them and shit. Anyways, I love you all. Thank you for being here. um yeah, let's go.
Fault. This is you posting evidence of you violating your probation. So, anyways, the question is there probable cause that you violated your probation? And the answer is absolutely. So I don't think you understand, and it's different than Milam County or McLennan County, but yeah, so I'm different than the other judges in Texas. For me, I just have a policy that whenever, it's not a policy, it's kind of a guidance. Whenever kids are brought in with something related to guns, I always detain them every single time. I just want to slow down, make sure everything's okay, make sure that there's no danger to the child or the community. Children with, I'm a big fan of guns. Have a big problem with kids with guns that are not supervised, right? If you were there at a shooting range with our aunt practicing, I have no problem with that. But the fact that you're not supervised with this, that's where my problem is. So there's a bunch of kids back there in the same situation as you, where they thought it was a good idea to have a gun and put it on social media. It's never a good idea. So I'm going to go and detain you. All right. I'm going to slow down. And if you want that extra time to figure out if the gun's at home or not, that's your discretion. If you want to call the police, they may have dogs. A lot of dogs can sniff for gunpowder, right? So you may want to call police and they might do it as a courtesy. You just have to ask them, right? And then if so, hopefully you can find it. My biggest fear is to find out. And so that's really for Miss Hamrick. So I guess Ms. Hamrick's not here, right? No, I'm sorry, Mr. Newman. Mr. Newman, if you can ascertain and make the court comfortable where the gun has been disposed of, that would make me feel a lot better. That's my primary concern is the firearm right now. Okay?
And I found out about that. It was just a normal little kid that he had met or whatever. I went and I talked to the mother and made the mother aware. And so she had searched it well, and there was no gun ever to be found. But I did make contact with the other parent. She wouldn't give me her contact information because I wanted to give it to you guys so that way y'all could reach out to her. She didn't want to do that. So I can only be responsible for him, but I did extend the olive branch. And to his word, the little boy's word is it was somebody that they was hanging with or whatever. It was never either of theirs. The guy just supposedly was just letting them play with it because he wasn't the only one that took a picture with it as well. I tried to get like I say, the contact information to pass on to you guys so that y'all can extend the olive branch as well. The lady flipped out. So it was.
Well, Aunt, I'm going to interrupt you. Let me ask you a question. I mean, you've been very proactive. I'm very impressed with you as a guardian, as a human being.
Well, thank you.
So what do you think? I mean, are you worried about your nephew getting in possession of another firearm?
I can't say no.
Okay.
I prayed about it and I gave it to God. Me and him, we had a talk or whatever, and he came clean with me. That's how I found out about the other little boy. And the other little boy is in a situation where he's living with a family member as well, going from household to household to household, whereas that's not his case. He explained to me that I keep them in the house every day, all day. I don't let them go and do anything unless it's with me. And he was very apologetic, and he apologized. And he said that he was very appreciative to me trying.
I'm going to interrupt you. So my question is, has this experience been humbling? I mean, is he humbled?
I have to say that he's doing much better. And like I said, I was worried about him being on multiple drugs or doing all of these extra things. They tested him today, and that's not the case. So a few of the things he was honest to me about, the things that he lied to me about, he came on ahead and he came clean with them. And ever since then, his curfew's been right. He's been logging on for his classes. He get up and he clean up behind himself.
So,
He is making an
so
effort.
you believe him?
I do.
Your Honor, he did test positive for marijuana, just so you know.
He's a very good kid. He just doing little bitty stuff.
And he tested positive for marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so I found that out today.
Yes.
Because all his
You're concerned that it would have been more than that?
I thought maybe it would have been more. I don't know. But I'm not gonna say that it is or it isn't without knowing.
Right, Paul. You know you can't be on probation to smoke weed. And when you're on probation, you're telling the court that you are willing to do everything right, and that's why you don't have to go to placement or TJJD. So
what's TJDD?
Texas Juvenile Justice Department. That's prison for kids.
Oh.
So that's an option.
Looking it up anyways. I'm changing the latency thing. Not the whole stream, to the game.
Looking at.
Well, so on something like this, there's no set amount of time. It's called an indeterminate sentence.
Mm-hmm.
They would take him and they would hold him until they felt like he was rehabilitated and that he was not going to reoffend, and they would let him go. It could be one day. It could be all the way to his 18th birthday.
Okay.
Right. So there's not much time left for Paul. It was
Right.
more serious than it could be. Some cases up to 40 years.
Good. I'm like I say, he has made a complete change, and he slips. Like you know what I mean. He
I understand. So this is what I'm going to do. All right, Paul. I'm going to detain you. I was going to let you go, even though I was kind of breaking my rule about kids with guns. I really like your aunt. She impresses me. I think you can learn a lot by watching her and listening to her. So I was going to let you go until I found out you're positive for weed. And at that point, you can't smoke weed while you're on probation. So I'm going to go and detain you, and we'll decide at a future date whether to release you or not. But this is the consequence of you smoking weed while you're on probation.
So his detainment is for him having a dirty UA?
Yes, I am. He can't smoke weed while he's on probation.
Okay.
All right? Okay. So, but that's his decision, and you had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm getting this stuff. No, that is still fine. And how do I find out how long they're going to have?
Jermaine Wilson.
Also, welcome, guys. If you're new here, please hit the like or the dislike button. That's how we take attendance. Also, we're testing out new games. That's what this game is. It's working slow. We're going to have to restart the stream in a little bit. Not for a while, though, so get yourself comfy. Name your strain or your drink, whatever you prefer. They like to hear it. It's only 8 o'clock for me.
All right, Mr. Wilson, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm making a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Hamrick is your attorney. I don't think Ms. Hamrick is here. Oh, Ms. Hopkins. Is she the attorney for the day? Oh, Ms. McGonigal. Ms. McGonigal, I asked you to step in. So, all right. Been here for almost 60 days. Oh, this is buying the car. Wait, what is it? Yeah, living with your girlfriend, share a bedroom, got an argument about a vehicle. Then she's saying that you punched her several times with the fist, drug her out of the bedroom into the living area, pulled out a gun, threatened to shoot everyone in her family. Later on, they found the box to the gun. Let's see. Didn't they find the gun in the car and the box of the gun inside the bedroom? So, and this is while you're on probation. Yeah, for aggravated robbery with a handgun. Yeah, Mr. Wilson, I'm very disappointed that you actually, while you're on probation for aggravated robbery with a gun, that you decide to acquire another gun and have it in your possession. It looks like that it's very unhealthy. So, Mr. Wilson, did you have a question for me?
Yes, sir. Excuse me, I was in the report it says I was staying with her, she was staying with me. That's first. Second, I was never
Mr. Wilson, these don't sound like questions.
Oh my bad. I was asking, can I be released on the monitor because I did everything that I'm supposed to do, Judge Kim. I conversation.
I understand. That's once you're here, but the problem is when you were on probation, you were caught with a gun crime, and then it seems like you were caught with another gun, and that's one of those, and that's for your attorney to fight. But that's what the police are telling me, so that's what I'm basing on. You need to distance yourself from any situation that might even make you look bad when you're on probation. Did you have another question?
All right. At this point, I'd have moved. The only thing I'm asking for is be on the monitor.
Right. No, I'm not worried about her. I'm worried about you getting another gun.
I'm not never going to touch another gun. I would never touch.
That's the thing is I don't know that. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, you took a gun and you pointed at somebody, making them think they're about to die.
Never did.
Well, you're on probation, so either you admitted to it, right? So who's the Ms. Washington? Are you here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so his probation, was it a stipulation? You know?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Wilson, you admitted to taking a gun and pointing at somebody to make them afraid they're going to die. And now you're telling me that you didn't do that?
You talking about right now? Right now?
No, I'm talking about the aggravated robbery. You're on probation.
Oh, well, that I did do that, but this time I never had no gun. That is
and that's for your attorney to find out. That's for your attorney to prove. But
I got a week. I got a week until detention. I mean, my real court date, Judge Kim. Only thing I'm asking is for time with my son. I just want to spend time with my son. If I can have a visitation, that's the only thing I'm asking for. I don't even care about nothing else. I'm being good. I got something to lose, Judge Kim. I'm being good for my son. It's something that I need. And this is not where I need to be. This is not where I'm at. I was doing good. I had
Mr. Wilson, these are not questions. All right.
Yes,
all right. Yes, thank you, sir. All right. At this point, I'm going to turn the docket over to Judge Terry. And so, thank you, Judge Terry.
Thank you, Judge Kim. Cole Brantley.
Thank you, Judge Kim.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Ms. Brantley. I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose is for me to determine whether or not I should keep you here or if I should release you back to your mother, I believe. Is that, let me see. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Taylor is your attorney, that she's been retained. Hi, Ms. Taylor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Right, so Nicole's been here since the 8th of March. She's level 1 outstanding. Looks like almost as soon as she could get there. Let's see. She was referred in for possession of controlled substance. This is the one where she was found with also, well, it was methamphetamines, but also she's got some sort of a fentanyl related charge as well.
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding there's a possession under a gram charge that I think they're trying to get an out of custody referral to Parker County.
She tested positive for amphetamines and methamphetamines when she came in. You know, my big concern about this one is that she has previous alleged offenses for the same thing from 2019, a couple years ago, which tells me she's got a problem. I feel like there's a lot more information that I don't have, but Mr. Lahara, are you here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell the court other than what's in this report? Are there any additions or corrections to make to it?
I am concerned she's been driving vehicles when she doesn't have a driver's license.
Well, I'm concerned the way she was driving the vehicle too. Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a parent or guardian here for her?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes,
Are you mom and dad?
yes, yes.
And forgive me, I'm sure she saw Judge Kim when she first came in. This is her first 10 days. So what was she doing out at 16 years old at 2 o'clock in the morning?
She had not been living with me for quite some time. She was sneaking out and using my car, things like that,
Where was she supposed to be living at the time?
with her grandmother.
Okay.
But I have, we have joint custody and I'm the
Right.
material.
Has she been staying with grandma
Yes.
and just kind of coming and going as she pleases from grandma's?
It was her home health care. She was working for through the home health care.
Who was working for the home health?
Nicole.
Oh, she's supposed to be helping take care of her grandma?
Yes.
So she's taking advantage of that opportunity, going and abusing substances when she's supposed to be taking care of her grandma.
That's correct.
Are you aware or concerned that she has a substance abuse problem?
Yes, I am very aware and concerned. I was going to go to a rehab.
How long has she been staying with grandma?
3 months.
Okay. And what did you say about a rehab, Mom? I didn't hear you.
There was another lady that said she found a rehab for, but I think it's in Houston. I don't know how that works, but I think that she would benefit from some counseling. And
another lady in the court, or?
Kara is from Parker County.
Okay. So from probation department out there, maybe?
She just found one for me, and I believe she has spoken with Juan about it.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may say so, I have not had the opportunity to raise Nicole on my own, and with this one with her, and if she's released, I'd very much like to have her myself and give the opportunity to get her turned around.
Okay, so the two of you, you don't live together, but you're here together for your daughter. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he, she will listen to her father more than me, in the past, she just doesn't listen.
There's a third party in this whole situation, which is Uncle Tim. She lived with him, and she lived with her mother, and she lived with my mother. And she played amongst the three of them. And nobody followed up on her stories as where she's at, what she's doing, who she's doing it with.
Well, it sounds like she's been able to pretty much live with whoever she wants and do whatever she wants. And now she's got a substance abuse problem that's not being addressed. And I don't think it's going to be addressed by switching homes constantly. That's my concern.
Judge, if I may.
Yes.
I believe the plan is to have her in her father's home on an ankle monitor, and she will not be switching around. She will not be switching homes. I think it's important to take care of these cases together, figure out what's going on with Parker County, figure out if Parker County's got some resources coming their way. I've spent a lot of time talking to her father, and I've talked to Nicole, and I know that they've spent a lot of time talking. I believe her detention level, being level 1 outstanding and keeping it there, I think she's really putting her money where her mouth is as far as wanting to change. And I know that the conversation she's had with her father indicate that she wants to change. We're all very concerned about the drug problem, but she will be protected in the home if you release her to her father's home.
So this is like where I'm at with this one. And Ms. Taylor, this is different for me. To me, I'm not really the level 1 out. It's this unusual one for me, just based on what the limited knowledge I have about her case. That this isn't about her ability to be level 1 outstanding here. Obviously, she doesn't have access to methamphetamines or fentanyl here. You know what I mean? So she doesn't have any other choice. I'm not saying any other behavior issues about her other than she comes and goes as she pleases. She can't do that here, and she can't do drugs here. At Dad's, she can just walk away. She can come off her monitor. Because if she truly has an addiction issue, she's going to do whatever she's got to do to get to it, to feed that need. Dad, what is your schedule like?
I believe I can tour that from with her because I don't live in town like she
Okay,
lives.
sir, what is your schedule like?
I work for myself.
Okay, what is your
I
schedule?
mean, I can make time for her whenever I need to make time for her.
I'm asking you what your daily schedule is in and outside of the home.
It varies. I work for myself. I'm home a lot. I mean, in between jobs, you know, but I'm always around home. I'm not straying off, going off and doing other things. I'm right there at home. And I know her now after being around the last few months when she's been messed up. I know, and talking to her since she's been in here, and I know the difference. She's had everybody buffaloed, but she don't buffalo me no more. But I wasn't around her at 24/7 either.
And
So here's what I want to do. I want to at least get something done because just sitting in here doing nothing is not going to help her. And I also don't think releasing her to dad into a different house and have her have the same struggles and just keep her there on a monitor is going to help her. So what I want to do is I'm going to order a psychological evaluation. And because I am concerned that she's a danger to herself, I mean, these are some serious things. This isn't like she's, well, I don't want to say just smoking weed because that's pretty serious too, but it isn't like she's just like, you know, I mean, this is methamphetamines and fentanyl. Any one of those things on one time could kill her. So I'm not willing to take that chance. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just not willing to take a chance on your life, Nicole. And so, oh yeah, apparently there's a note in here. It's not on the report, but Stephanie just notified me there was a hair follicle ordered. Do we have the results of that?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. They're
What is that?
in the report. The report we get here.
I don't see.
They're listed as 3/10/2021.
Okay, so those are on the 10th. Okay, and that says, but it says it's a UA, so it doesn't say it was a hair follicle.
Yeah, it is a hair follicle. It is.
It was a hair follicle, and it was inconclusive for marijuana and positive for methamphetamines also.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yeah, I want to do the psychological evaluation and at least get, because that way we'll be armed with something in order to consider her release the next time. So I'm sorry, Nicole, but I do believe that you are a danger to yourself unless we start getting a handle on this issue. And so I'm going to keep you detained.
Thank you, Your Honor.
For how long? For how long?
That's right. Sarah Cross?
Thank you, Judge Terry. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Taylor. Ms. Cross, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you detained. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to your attorney, and your attorney is Key Ables, and it appears to me she just popped on Zoom here if you see her there.
I'm at the beach, Sarah.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I just came to the beach for the day. It's a private island I own. Yeah. I'm really rich. Not
Tell me
really.
today, Key. All right. Let's see. Oh, yes. Here's another.
Yeah, don't do that.
What?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No defense attorney likes to hear that.
Yeah, I know. All right, Sarah, you've been here since the 15th, so since last week. The DTA issued by Judge Kim on the 20th when you did not appear for your out of custody detention hearing that was scheduled. It appears to me, just based on what I'm seeing, that your mom let you, actually, the only reason you were caught is because you drove without a license to take your friend home on the 15th, and you got pulled over for a traffic stop. You did test positive for marijuana also when you were brought in. You also have a history for the last 3 to 4 years, of running off consistently. And now you're 17.
And I believe, Judge, she's on probation.
She is on probation until
she's
January.
Yeah, and that's her birthday. She and I had a really long talk last week. and basically I just laid out what I think she needs, and then I told her, look, if you just tell me to get me out, do whatever you can do to make this go away, that's what I'll do. But I'm going to tell you what I think is in your best interest. And apparently her mom had also mentioned some of the same things I did. And so she has agreed to work on some trauma-based therapy, which her mom and I think is real important for her to do. Her mom has made her an appointment with a doctor to get a referral through their insurance for a therapist. Her mom is also going to look into Lena Pope because, they have those trauma-based therapists there that are trained. And so, Sarah's aware that she's down to her last chance, she gets all that. She's on level 1 outstanding. And so and I think her mom wants her to come home, and her mom is going to get her to her appointments and stuff. So that's what we're asking you to do, is release her.
Is that right? Is Mom Maria Cross here? Is that her?
Yes.
Oh, you're muted, ma'am.
Okay, I'm here.
You think if I were to send her home with you, that she would stay home and go to that appointment next week?
Yes, yes, ma'am. She's a lot different than she was years ago I know she has a history of running off, and I was the frantic mom walking, going into Walmart. Have you seen my child? I was that mom back then, and but she and I have a strong a lot stronger relationship than we had when those issues were happening. And we moved here from California, so we have a network of family and support here.
Okay, but here's the thing, ma'am. So that's fine. So she's changed all of a sudden, because she was supposed to be in court back in January, and it's 2 months later before she ends up back here, and it's only because she was caught driving a vehicle on a traffic violation.
Judge,
so help me understand what's changed and how responsible she is.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you what I've seen.
But why was it? Why did 2 months go by? Why did you not bring her in, or why did she not come in? I don't think she's changed since March 15th. I need you to convince me that, unless I have those questions answered to consider, then she's just going to stay here.
Sure. Well, okay. So she was, at the time of January, she was in limbo of going to Casada. I guess that was the school she was enrolled in. And so she was flaking out. She was flaking out on that, and that caught up to her. And that was what the court hearing was about in January. So she worked. Things were great as far as home. Her, things had settled down. The only thing was that she wasn't, she was waffling on where she wanted to go to school. She didn't want to go to that program anymore. And that's where she went off, basically off track. And it was with the school.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry. I'm going to need to step in here before Judge Terry opens her dumbass mouth. But none of these sound like problems that need frickin' what's it called? Credence and Mikey. Hi. You're here just in time for me to literally almost stop this stream to restart to do a game thing. But if anybody's here that's not already subscribed to the Credence and Mikey channel, that is a must subscribe channel. They do amazing stuff. They are an inspiration. Although I have a funny feeling that it's mostly Mikey some of the time, but maybe not. I don't know. Then, yeah, so make sure you sub to their channel. That's really important. What's happening right now, we're going to finish this part of this hearing, and then I'm going to start a new stream that's got the proper settings for the game, and we're going to keep playing the game till late, because it's only like 8:30 for me. So I hope I don't lose you all, but if I do, you know where to find us. Let's finish what Judge Terry's going to say. Oh, what I started, okay, the dog is panting because she was running. What I started to want to say is, these are really, this is why you have to be careful when you bring the government or the juvenile justice system into your life with your children. For some people, absolutely need it. For some people, absolutely, it's not a good idea. This woman saying her daughter was waffling on picking the school, and that somehow resulted in this, like, seriously, Bluebell, you are going crazy panting. Um, but seriously, like, that doesn't make any sense. And if that's the case, what? What are you doing here? That's a waste of resources. Those seem like things that could be sorted out in a therapist's office, maybe. Hi, Crystal. If you're just getting here, if you're just getting here, we're just about to finish off with this last little bit of Judge Terry for the next minute. And then I'm starting a new stream with proper settings for the game that we're going to play shortly, the Wordle game. But I'm glad that you're all here. I don't have the link yet because I can't create the link until I make this stop. I know Streamlabs sucks, but it doesn't because it gives us all the games. So, Wild Kegger, yes.
Since then, there's a program that I just found out about through Goodwill, through the organization Goodwill of America, I guess, and where they'll enroll now for the following account with QuickBooks. So this is all for teenagers ages 16 to 24.
And this is all things that you found out about since she was brought back here?
I just found this out this morning from Diane Hunt. But
I'm still trying to understand why from January 20th, since January 20th, she was not brought in here.
And Judge, I can't make that make sense. I can't make it make sense to me, so I know I'll never make it make sense to you. I'm
asking Mom too to help me make it sense, but
and I think you know that I have concerns about that too. I think you know me well enough to know that
something's up with this child.
Well, and you know what? I think this child is really a cool child. I mean, if you could sit and talk with her, you would love it. But Mom, what she's trying to do is there's a concern that you don't make your daughter do what she's supposed to do. That's basically what we're doing right here. And the people on her case, I think, are going to tell you that. And Judge, if I'm wrong, you can tell me.
No,
well,
and you're right.
That you have to be in charge. And Sarah knows, Sarah and I talked about this. She knows you have to be in charge. And this judge has to be convinced that if she releases her to you, that you're going to do your part as a parent. Now, Judge, what I can tell you, because I'm not responsible for Maria Cross, this little girl knows that she wants to act like an adult, but we've talked long and hard about how she makes stupid decisions. She doesn't make adult decisions, and she knows what her responsibility is if she goes home. I'm not.
Does she know that if I send her home with Mom, does Mom know that we could issue a warrant for Mom's arrest if Sarah doesn't come back to court the next time?
No, I don't know that Mom knows that, because really I've been focused on Sarah and what Sarah has to do, because I'm trying to make it her responsibility. Because she wants to be an adult. I'm like, okay, we'll learn how to make adult decisions. One of them is, if you go home, you have to do everything you're told to do by the court. And I think Sarah gets that. I mean, you can ask her, but she's in detention. She wants to get out. I know that. So I'm going to take what she says with a grain of salt. But at the same time, she's 17 years old. It's about time she learned this stuff. And if nobody at home is going to make her do what she's supposed to do, it doesn't matter. We still have to do what we're supposed to do, and her mom may think that that she's raised her child to know what to do. I know why she didn't come to court. She got scared. We see that all the time. And then we see people learning the lesson that it makes it worse, I don't know.
I get it. My problem is Sarah does what she wants to do. I don't even know that Mom had the ability to make her come back into court. It seems like Sarah's in charge. But here, you know what? You know what I'm going to do on this one? I'm going to go ahead and release her. She's over 17 years old.
Right.
And you know what? Prove me wrong, Sarah, because I think you're going to be back here or you're not going to be back here because you won't show up. But I'm going to put you on an electronic monitor. And one of the conditions is you have to go to your appointment on March 31st. And provide
to school.
And I'm talking, Sarah. You're not in charge here.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I can change my mind. This isn't done yet. You have to go to the doctor's appointment, and that's scheduled for the 31st, Mom?
Yes, ma'am.
And provide proof of that to probation. And then you also need to provide probation with the name and contact information of the referral that you get from your doctor on the 31st. If those things are not provided, then is it Ms. Hunt? Ms. Hunt, I would like you to submit a progress report letting me know whether or not she did or did not submit that information to you. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
And also I want to know when her first appointment is with that treatment provider. Because the only reason I'm letting her go is because they have resources to do private treatment. And I do believe this child needs some treatment. She's over 17 years old. It's almost getting to the point where she's going to be who she's going to be. So, and Mom, yes, what I mentioned about whether or not you knew that a warrant could be issued for your arrest if you do not get her back here for court next time, that can happen. So if you're willing to take that risk, then I will release her to you today on the conditions that I stated. Okay?
Yes.
Sarah, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then I think Ms. Hunt will talk to you about the Goodwill GED thing.
Okay.
Diane, can you talk to them about that?
Yes.
And get her involved in that? That's something she and I've talked about, and that's we didn't talk about specific programs, but that's something she wants to do.
All right, that's the order today. Thank you all.
Hey, Sarah, call me when you get home.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Leah Jenkins.
Good morning, Judge.
Hi. Let's see, Leah, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I should release you to a parent or guardian, if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and your attorney, is it Miss Adwa?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that how it's pronounced?
It's pronounced Adjoa. And
Adjoa.
Yes. Good morning,
I will try to
Your
get
Honor.
that correct the next time, every time. Okay. And obviously you see your attorney is here. Is there a parent or guardian here? I see there. Okay. All right. I think I recall this is one with where Leah was part of the alleged aggravated robbery, alleged assault with a deadly weapon on the, aggravated robbery on the Arlington police officer who was off duty here in Arlington, where she's alleged to be the one who pointed the gun at him. Just to remind you, Aaliyah, there's previously been probable cause found that an aggravated robbery was committed and that you were the one involved. And also, let's see, I believe she was actually on my docket for today, but a psychological evaluation was ordered.
Yes, Your Honor.
And let's see. Has that actually been, Ms. Guerrero, has that actually been the process begun for that yet or what?
No, ma'am, because I found out late last week, there's been some family dynamic information that I need to update.
Okay.
So I was waiting to get legal documentation showing about the information that I needed to get. So I will be doing that as time allows me to do that this week, hopefully.
Okay. Ms. Adjoa, can you get that information to probation pretty quickly here?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been able to send this morning the legal documentation to probation, and that's kind of sort of the conversation that I was hoping to have with the court today. I was recently retained on this case last week, Thursday. So I've done a lot of work in terms of catching up to be able to get a good understanding of what's occurring. Judge, I am aware of the allegations against the child, Miss Aaliyah, who is 14. It is going to be an issue in disputes as to whether Ms. Jenkins actually pointed the gun at the officer.
And I appreciate that, counsel. But as you know, I'm here today to determine whether I can release her based on whether or not she's a danger to the community. Now, I do appreciate, Ms. Jenkins, that you have been level 1 outstanding since the 12th, even though you've been here the end of January, you've been level 1 outstanding since the 12th of March. So I want to encourage you to keep that up. But at this time, because the allegations do say that you were the one holding the gun, and you also have pending offenses in Dallas County, pending referrals, I'm extremely concerned that this just isn't a one-off thing, that you're kind of running around all over DFW with this type of thing is what it looks like. Okay. And so I don't think that it would be a good idea or safe to release you to the community at this time. Especially when I'm also, in addition to that, being told that there's been a family dynamic change. And so I think we need to get a handle on whether or not there's suitable supervision for you at home. And so I'm going to keep you detained. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Judge,
Yes.
there were some exhibits that I presented, and there's a lot of information that defense would just like to present before the court would make the decision on detention. I do understand.
Well, if this is not an evidentiary hearing, okay, that's the only thing. And so there were, what I have is the report from probation. And is there something else you would like me to know?
Yes, Judge, there are several things that we would like you to know. The first is that there's not a change in family dynamics, but there is a difference between the biological mom and the legal guardian. What we're trying to communicate to the court is that when Miss Jenkins is with her legal guardian, who is Miss Annette Randolph, who has been here, from my understanding, at every single detention hearing, and who has the means to be able to bring her back to court, she was doing excellent. She had good grades. She was in school. She was promoted in all of her classes. She was in basketball. The issue began when Miss Aaliyah Jenkins wanted to spend time. She missed her biological mom and wanted to have visits with her biological mom. So it is only when she was with her biological mom in Oak Cliff that the incidents occurred. I would like the court to take into consideration that all of these warrants, while they look like she's been running around engaging in criminal activity, they're all from the same night. So prior to January 27th, 2021, Miss Aaliyah Jenkins had no criminal history. She had no contact with the police, and she had a stable life in Forney when she lived with her legal guardians.
How long has she been living with mom?
I'm sorry, Judge?
How long is she back living with her biological mother?
From my understanding, she was visiting the biological mom in July 2020, and then she was living permanently with the biological mom for about a year. That's my understanding of it. Trying to get the
that doesn't
timeline.
make up. July 2020 is less than a year ago. So did she visit with her, or was she living with her since then?
So it's the timeline is a little bit difficult to pin down, especially when dealing with children, but this is my understanding. She was visiting bio mom in 2019 and in 2020. In November 2020, she was with biological mom, living with biological mom, because she felt guilty about the different standards of living that she had with the legal guardian versus what her siblings had. So from my understanding, she was going back and forth with bio mom because the legal guardian wanted her to maintain a relationship with bio mom.
So I don't know. I'm not going to pass any judgments right now on what the causal connection was with her living arrangements and all that. But thank you for that. I'm detaining her because of the seriousness of this offense, and I'm just going to keep her detained for now. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So Tygon Nesbitt.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Hall.
This is the one we did a couple weeks ago where we did the adjudication dispo, and he had some concerning things to say, so you ordered a psych exam, and I haven't got any results on any of those yet.
Your Honor, May I add, we have a psychological exam scheduled for tomorrow. Mom is requesting that if he is released, that he could be released tomorrow after the exam because she cannot take off work today and tomorrow.
Okay, this is one where was the stepdad here with mom at the adjudication?
No,
I don't believe so.
Mom
It
and
was just,
biological dad.
Oh, mom and bio dad?
Yes.
Okay. He's been level 1 outstanding since the 14th. Let's see. Unlawful carrying a weapon was waived, and this is theft of a firearm, terroristic threat against a public servant. Oh yeah, where his dad said that his son took his gun without his consent. That's when he threatened a teacher at Summit High School. Oh yeah, and there was some possible gang affiliation. Yeah, this was just a couple weeks ago. Okay. So on the 10th is when I saw him, and I remember keeping him here. He was not level 1 yet, but he got there by the 14th, and he's been there. All right. So what I'm going to do, Mr. Nesbitt, is I am going to go ahead and today I will detain you so that we can make sure that your psychological evaluation gets completed tomorrow. And make sure that when we release you, it is the right thing to do. So you are to stay on level 1 outstanding. If you get to tomorrow and you're not on level 1 outstanding, you won't be going home. Okay. That means level 1A, any slip ups at all, you will be staying here tomorrow. Okay. So I can sign in order for release tomorrow after that's completed if he's on level 1 outstanding.
Judge,
Is mom here today?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, I see her, I think, there.
Yes, Judge, I'm right here.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Brown.
You also ordered a psychiatric evaluation, which is not scheduled until first. However, we did get with the MHMR department, and we are going to get that psychiatric evaluation taken care of in the community with MHMR. They have an appointment for the 31st as well.
Okay, so the psychological evaluation is scheduled for tomorrow. The psychiatric is scheduled for the 31st.
Yes, ma'am.
Mom, are you able to get him there on the 31st?
Yes. Yes.
That is going to be a condition of his release also. If he misses
That's
that,
fine.
then we need to be made
No,
aware of that.
that's perfectly fine. I'm ready for him to come home, so that's fine.
Okay, you're also, Mr. Nesbitt, you are going to be on a monitor also. I want to make sure that, you know, if you're telling the court that there's no problems with gangs and all that kind of stuff, then this is a good way for me to find out. Okay? Remember, you're on probation, and so I'm trying to set you up to be able to successfully complete the terms and conditions of your probation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna go ahead and sign the EM order, but I won't sign the order for release until tomorrow. And then, actually, I'll just keep it up here so that it's ready, the EM order. All right, thank you all.
Thanks, Judge.
Welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. All right, Terrence Tucker. Morning, Mr. Tucker. Tucker, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I should release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Youngblood. I know, there he is. He's here on Zoom with us. Let's see, you've been here since February 24th. You are on probation, looks like until your 18th birthday. See. Oh, you're referred on February 24th for unauthorized use of a vehicle and evading arrest, detention. Police say you were driving a vehicle that was reported as stolen. When officers attempted to pull you over, you got out and began to flee the scene on foot despite the officer's instructions to stop. You deployed at a trained dog, and you were bit by the dog and detained. You were transported to JPS for treatment and then transported here. And you were just placed on probation in November for unauthorized use of a vehicle. There was agreement to, you were placed on probation actually in January. And there was an agreed order to extend your probation until your 18th birthday based on the violation of a court order or information that you were placed on in July of 2020. You have been trying hard to stay here for the last year, Mr. Tucker. At least you were negative for all substances when you came in. You've not been re-enrolled in school.
Her face, I would punch her. Oh my God.
So the psychological evaluation is due actually today. The report is due today.
Yes, Your Honor. It should be, it was noted that it'll be due back about today.
Okay.
It completed on the 16th.
And I see resource staffing is scheduled for the 26th. So I'm assuming that's not going to be ready to go for his hearing on April 5th.
I'm hoping so, Your Honor. Well, the resource, we tried to make it right after, the psychological return back. So we plan on staffing it on the 26th. His court date is actually on the 5th of April.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope so. So, I mean, I can tell that his behavior's been up and down here in the back because I see level 1 outstanding as of yesterday, which is good, Mr. Tucker, but you need to just keep it there. And I can see you're just relaxed, chill, just sitting back. It's like you're not even here seriously. So I'm going to detain you because I absolutely know that you're likely to reoffend. You have shown that to us. And so we will see you next time. Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe his mother wanted to say something.
Sure. Where's she? Oh, hi, Mom. Did you have a question?
I don't think it's a question. I think she just wanted to tell the court what her position was.
Okay, sure, Mom. Go ahead.
Is it about the car?
Yes.
That Terrence had called that little boy to come take him to Arlington to a little girl house. And the little girl say that the little boy asked him to drive because they didn't want to get pulled over. He told Terrence it was just Amy's car because Terrence was paying him $30. And so Terrence told her the reason why he ran because he snuck out the house. He was trying to go see that little girl and then go back home. And I guess between that time they had got pulled over.
Okay, Mom.
Let me stop you there.
Well, here's the other thing too. I'm being told there's a lot that he hasn't done since I've ordered him to do it back in January, and I'm not sure if it's him or if he doesn't have suitable supervision at home. I don't know what's going on, but we're not here to determine whether or not he actually was driving and doing an unauthorized use of a vehicle. We're just here to determine whether or not I should release him. And his pattern of behavior tells me that at this time I should not release him. All right. They do think he's likely to reoffend. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, waived. Okay. I don't have that one here. Wait, do I? Okay. All right. So the next is going to be Michelle Sosa. Hi, Michelle. I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to your attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Beaver. He's here on Zoom with us today. And is there a parent or guardian here at all for her? I don't
Your
see
Honor,
anyone in the room.
Your Honor, I was told that the sister was going to be participating, or maybe the mother participating by Zoom, because she just had a kidney transplant and is supposed to avoid contact with the groups.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't see anyone here, so.
Your Honor,
All right.
I did speak with the mother. She was gonna try and have the grandmother present. She is willing to have her home, but.
Well, I appreciate sometimes they have a lot of other stuff going on in the family, it sounds like, so. All right. Let's see. She's been here for 13 days. So this is your first 10-day detention hearing. And you've been level 1 outstanding just since yesterday. So that's kind of odd. So what's happened, Ms. Gonzalez? What's she been like back here?
Your Honor, I have one right up on the 20th. Looks like it's a verbal altercation. She dropped from a 1-0 to a 1A, went back up the very next day.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Cole. I misread the wrong PO's name. So she's only had that one dip?
Yes.
All right. So let's see. Why are you here? Let's see. On the 9th, Fort Worth PD responded to Jasmine Western Wear, and you were detained for investigation. Let's see. First entered it. So Gomez Western Wear, I guess. Those two different things. Says you attempted to steal a shirt. When confronted, you became angry and slapped an employee and left. And then you went into Jasmine's store, who was alerted to the situation, grabbed several shirts, stuffing them under your clothes, and then passed all points of sale. Officers found the stolen clothes and the assaulted victim from the first store and confirmed that you were the individual who assaulted her. For the investigation, you refused officers' commands to get into the police car and then turn around. They attempted to take you into custody. You fought back and had to be restrained for cuffs to be and cuffs were applied. Oh, restrained for cuffs to be applied. You're referred for assault, bodily injury, theft of property, 100 to 750, and resisting arrest. Oh, it looks like the family is here. Okay. All right. And then in 2018, you were supervisory caution for assault, bodily injury, positive for marijuana and benzodiazepines when you came in. Mom wants to take you home. You're out of the hospital. I feel the doctor 3 times a week now due to surgery. Okay. All right, Mom. Something tells me this is not like a one-off thing for her. Like she has a behavior problem and aggression problem. Is that right?
Yes.
Does she act aggressive in the home?
Well, not aggressive.
Okay, she doesn't fight with you or.
Is that right? Does she act aggressive? And the dog just ran away when I did that voice. Judge Terry, just so you know. And I've just been told that my voice is like, oh, see, now it's getting dark outside. I'm gonna have to change the lighting again. But I'm so sorry. I think we're all infallible in some ways. I can handle a lot of things. I could handle Judge Terry in the right situation with the right tools and the right preparation. Ooh. Yeah. Anyways, let's just finish this hearing off and then we will go ahead and restart and go through the ADHD kitchen list. What I did want to do though is read this lovely comment from Jonathan. He said, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and today I was in a seminar about gratitude. It helps your physical health and can train your brain to see blessings. And I totally agree, Jonathan. You know what's funny? My brain is like really good at being a bitch, and she bitches at me constantly. Like you would not believe. Actually, I bet most of you would believe. But what I found really helpful was because like I found it really fake to be like nice to myself or like happy or grateful, like faking it. So instead, what I try to do is when if I catch myself being negative about something, I try and stop in the moment and say, hey, okay, now flip a positive and see if you can create a positive, it's actually very difficult. And sometimes I don't want to do it. But it is a total mind shift if I can catch myself. I don't oftentimes. I'll ruminate in dark, like bad, deep, depressing thoughts. That's ADHD for you. Anyways, but let's finish the hearing. Oh, that's what I started with. Judge Taring's voice.
Are there family members in the home?
No, she doesn't fight. Because like I said, she has ODD.
Hold on. Raven's just asked a great question. Raven has asked, how would I do against Judge Maribel? Well, Raven, I would do just fine against Maribel. The problem's with Katrina, his clerk, because she don't play. And so you don't have to worry about Judge Maribel. He'll spend the whole day talking to you. No, Judge Maribel, he was disorganized, but that's because the clerk was basically organizing that court for the most part. Not in a bad way. I loved her. I understand how much work that is and how serious of a job to keep on track and make that docket happen and all that kind of stuff. But some of the stuff she said, she fully was inserting herself where most clerks dare not go. And I'm sure she did shut down the stream because Katrina's not only smart enough to know about the stream, but also read the comments and just be fucking done with it. And she has enough power in that courtroom to say, Judge, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to do it. So until you do that, I'm not going to be your clerk. And what are you going to do then? And then he'd say, oh, Katrina, calm down. No, Judge, I don't want to. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Seriously, do you not think that's exactly how that happened? I miss him too. But the pair, him alone I wouldn't have been able to deal with. Also, Katrina and Judge Maribel, open invitation to come to the kitchen, as always with any judge. If I haven't said this already, Judge Manning, duh, you can come hang out at my house any day you want.
The thing is that she'll come down if you just give her some minutes for her to come down. If you talk to her, she'll get more irritated. But
So because usually, I hardly see somebody who's willing to get this aggressive with strangers and actually police officers too, who doesn't also behave the same way at home. So you're telling me she just may argue or something at home, but she's never physically aggressive at home?
Well, not physically.
Your Honor, when I completed the intake, if I could add to that story, we, meaning Michelle, decided to quit taking her behavioral health medication, her mood disorder pills about 30 days prior. The time of the incident, I believe we were on Xanax, hence the benzodiazepines, which resulted in that. Mom has reached out and asked us if we could help monitor with the medication piece and the substance abuse, as that was new to her. So
she was not prescribed Xanax, is that right?
Correct.
Well, she stopped taking her prescribed meds, and then she started getting Xanax from whomever.
I believe that's what we're dealing with from the intake. I can't be positive.
Is she on her prescribed medication at this time?
No, ma'am.
Is there a way that we can get that here to her? Is there a current prescription for it?
No, because she would see the psychiatrist every month. So they prescribe her for each month. So I'm willing to take her back to the psychiatrist.
Okay, so they were prescribing it month to month, and then she ran out and it just didn't get refilled?
Yeah, because she didn't want her to take her medications anymore. She said it's not working and it's not working. So she's been taking medication since, I believe, 12.
So sometimes, Michelle, you might think that your medication's not working, but it actually is. I mean, you look what happened when you stopped taking it, right? Yes.
I did speak with her that if she was able to be released, that we would be monitoring her meds and asking her to come in for a regular followed up drug test, because that's one of the requests that Mom was asked help with, as she was unaware of that piece.
Your Honor, if I may also add that I've spoken to both the mother and Ms. Sosa, and they seem to be on the same page as far as the expectations for Michelle's behavior and what she's going to do if the court does release her, as far as enrolling in school, making sure that she's following instructions, and of course, following her psychiatrist instructions and taking her medicines.
Are you sure you want to take her back home with us, Mom? I'm concerned about your health and, you know, everything that you have going on. Are you able to keep an eye on her?
Yes.
And
I
get
have
her to
help my mom and my daughter.
Okay.
And dad, I mean, I know my husband worked, but.
Well, yeah, you have to, right? I mean.
Yes.
Here's what I'm going to do, Michelle. I'm going to go ahead and release you. And so you're saying, Mr. Kroll, that the benzodiazepines it was not her prescription, you said, right?
No, the prescriptions that the sister, or the prescribed prescriptions that were previously being taken by her, that the sister provided after the last court.
Prescribed prescriptions previously potentially pulverized perfectly. I can't do anymore.
Court hearing was Abilify, and I believe one for ADHD.
Okay.
So
Michelle, where were you getting the Xanax from?
Somebody.
From who?
I don't know. I mean, I was at a store and then somebody just asked me if I wanted some and I just said yeah.
So you're at a store and someone walked up to you.
It was a convenience store, ma'am.
So you're at a convenience store and someone just walked up to you and asked if you wanted to buy some Xanax?
Yeah.
And they just happened to hit the right person and you're like, yeah, that sounds good. And
because he was just, asking people. Not everybody, but.
What convenience store was that at?
It's by Riverside.
What's the name of it?
I don't know. It starts with the C. It's like it starts with the C, and it's I don't know what the store is called, man, but it starts with the C, and it's like white and turquoise. I think
it's Michelle, the judge is asking you these questions because she wants to make sure that you don't have anything to do with those people and nothing nothing to do with that location again.
No, I don't even live around there. So, I don't do stuff like that. It was my
So if you don't live around there, were you going there because you knew you could get Xanax there?
No, ma'am.
So what were you doing there?
I was there because I went to go see my cousin. She lives around there. And then I guess like on my way back, I stopped at that store.
So it's a convenience store on Riverside is all you're going to tell me.
I mean, ma'am, I don't have nothing to do with that, you know.
I'm not saying you do. I'm not trying to get you in any kind of trouble. I'm just asking you what the name of the convenience store was.
It's CH Chevron, something like that. I don't know. I mean, I was
like a Chevron was it a gas station?
Yeah, it was a gas station.
Okay. So, Mom, I'm going to go ahead and release her to you. She is is she enrolled in school?
Not at the moment. But,
why?
Okay, because she was having so much problems at school. She's on the 504.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever she was in middle school, they would be.
Okay, I don't want to hear the whole story. I'm sorry, not to be disrespectful, Mom, but I want to know why she's not enrolled in school right now at 16 years old.
She says she's not enrolled in school right now because Michelle's being really difficult, but my mom decided to take her out. She knows it's not the right decision right now, but my mom is going to enroll her back, and she actually has the information of the right school she's going to put her in for the people that like her who need help. And she can give you the name, right, Mommy? You have the name?
Well, no, that's okay. That's all right. What I'm going to do is a condition of her release is she is to be enrolled in school by March 31st. And Michelle, you're going to have a 9 p.m. curfew Monday, every day of the week, 7 days a week. So if you are caught outside the house for any reason after 9 o'clock p.m., we could just schedule another detention hearing and see if we need to keep you back here. I want to see if you know how to follow rules. You are also to go back to your psychiatrist. Mom, you need to take her back to her psychiatrist. I need you to call and make an appointment. Today's Tuesday. By the end of the week, I need you to contact probation and let them know the name of her doctor and when her appointment is. And also, Michelle, if I find out that you're being physically aggressive with anyone in the home or outside of the home or anywhere, that'll be another reason to bring it back here, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Felicity Willingham, and then this will be the last one who's over 14. So after hers, we need to not bring the next child in yet. Oh, thank you. Let me see what the difference is here. All right, Felicity, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is actually Ms. Nowoki, but she is not here today, and so Ms. McGonigal will be stepping in her place. It appears to me that, let's see, you were brought in on January 11th. You've been level 1 outstanding since March 4th, so it tells me you've been having issues back and forth. All right. Let's see. Physical altercation with mom, says Fort Worth PD. Your habitual runaway. I know I've seen you before. Isn't she one of our dual status kids?
Just hurry up, Judge Terry.
Ms. Castillo?
Your Honor, yes, go ahead.
Isn't she one of our dual status kids?
I don't quite understand what you mean.
Does she also have a CPS case?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
she does.
Okay. I thought I remembered her from that. Okay. This has just got ongoing out of control issues. On probation since last July for unauthorized use of a vehicle. He's had a couple DTAs since then. And then the assault, bodily injury. scheduled before Judge Porter on the 30th. What else is being done for her? Like, has there been a psych eval? What's going on with her? Is she on medication?
Your Honor, she's had a psych eval done and she was staffed last week. It's my understanding we're still waiting to hear back from CPS regarding what their plans are. The last conversation I had with Mother, she was not willing to accept her back in the home. I know Felicity is under the impression that possibly her aunt will, but her aunt is not wanting her as well.
I think her aunt's tapped out. And she has been for a while, and she keeps trying and changing her mind, trying to come back. And obviously the department's not here, and I'm not surprised. So we don't know where CPS is with on their end.
Correct.
Shame. For shame.
Okay, who's your caseworker?
Is that for me or for Felicity, Your Honor?
Who is the caseworker for Felicity, the CPS caseworker?
I know it's changed, but let me check real quick. I know Miss Flowers was assisting with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, because you know what? This is completely unfair to Felicity, and it's unproductive when CPS decides not to show up for one of their kids.
Yeah, it's Mona Lisa.
Okay.
And
So,
like I said, Miss
Shut
Flowers
up.
was assisting
Shut
in
up.
trying to expedite some
That is
information
that.
from them because they,
I'm clicking. That is not Mona Lisa. That's a prank. That's a prank. What?
Mona Lisa.
okay.
And
So,
like I said, Miss Flowers was assisting in trying to expedite some information from them because they were supposed to have a conversation with Mom since last week.
Ms. McGonigal, can you reach out to Ms. Nowalki too and have her let know CPS needs to be here tomorrow. We're gonna do this detention hearing. We're gonna do this tomorrow. Right now, Felicity, I have to detain you. I don't have anybody else to release you to at this time, but I don't feel it's
Mona Lisa was tied up. Da Vinci's not available. We have had, we reached out to many, many others, but nobody was getting back to us. I don't know why. Like, oh my God. This is so weird. Like, would you not? Who names their kid Mona Lisa? Nobody. You can't do that. What? Oh.
fair to you to have to come and meet and then just be detained and have no work done towards progress for you. So I need to make sure that everybody's here that should be here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
She's assembling the Last Supper.
Okay, do not bring the next child in. At this time, we will need to turn off the live stream to YouTube pursuant to Texas Family Code 54.08C. If the child is under the age of 14 at the time of the hearing, it says that the court.
I said we don't give a shit, Terry. Oh, thank God I looked at the screen. Strains list. Oh, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I am going to finish this list quickly. I'm going to give myself 1.5 minutes for fake gravy. Yeah, you know what? There's like vegan gravy, which is very weird too. Vegan cheese and vegan gravy. But okay. So here we go. I'm starting at 9:16. So on my ADHD kitchen list, Toby, talking about strains of marijuana, very basically, you have sativas and indicas, and everything is a mixture of both. If anybody ever says it's totally an indica or a totally sativa, they're lying. That's not how it works. Um, if it is truly like truly purebred strain, they're called land races, and they don't actually work very good. So they don't sell very good either. So nobody actually has land races. Anyways, um, each strain has its own unique terpenes, which make you feel different things. And so the cool thing about pot and THC and terpenes is figuring out which ones you like and which ones you don't like. The easiest way to do that is with your nose. So when you go to a dispensary, if they have jars of weed, that's the best. That's how I used to keep it, in the big jars, like my flower jars. And they were flower jars. Anyways, if you smell it and you don't like it, don't try it. If you smell it and you do like it, then try it. And you also have to be prepared for the experience. So if you are going to take a sativa, which is something leaning towards a more high energy or daytime THC item, then think of it as stimulant like, in a way. So some people that might say, "Oh, I get anxiety when I smoke sativas." Well, are you getting anxiety, or is your body getting pumped up? If you were looking at this from a mindset of, "Hey, I'm going to exercise today, or I'm going to do this and that's why I'm using this sativa," then you may not see that as anxiety, rather as my body getting going and moving. So the same thing goes for an indica. Now, indicas, here's a little known fact for you. The defining feature of indica strains is actually the myrcene content. And myrcene is the terpene that you have that actually makes you feel couch locked, or like locked into the couch. But it's also the one that helps you sleep. And so it is generally indicas that are more effective for helping people with nighttime pain or long-lasting sleep help. But the reality is that most people don't use strains to do that anymore. They use like edibles or um, items that are made from a distillate, and then they don't tend to have terpenes added back into them because they're quite expensive. But there are a billion different strains, and in reality, even the same strain grown by the same grower in the same conditions, as much as possible, will have slightly different terpene profiles based upon many different things. And so what I want everybody to know is, whenever you go to a dispensary and they have a sign boasting the THC percentage, I would be quite wary of that. That's not what I look for when you are wanting to see about marijuana and the quality. Um, what you'll find many pot companies legally do, because there's a legal market in Canada now, they'll have a strain of marijuana which has a THC percentage of, let's say, 15%, and then they will add in like basically uh, keef, and the keef raises the THC percentage. Now, if they are unscrupulous, they could send in the sample that they're testing and make sure that that's got a good, sprinkling in there, and then not put it in the rest of their product. Or they could, but not mix it well, or whatever. I don't know. What I do know is that you need to know your suppliers very well. And the big legalization of marijuana has not helped with that, unfortunately. So yeah, THC percentage is not the most important thing. Strains, done. Migrants in Canada, sad thing. Oh, hold on. I'm going to read the chat quickly about what you guys said there. Grow stuff that leans indica, you mostly like bushy stuff. Um, so terpenes are the shiny hairs that are so sticky. That's almost correct, Amy. terpenes are actually the oils that are in many different things. So a mango has terpenes in it, and uh, fruits have terpenes in them. They're actually the flavor and the smell that is imparted when you have an oil. And so on the pot plant, what you're talking about, the white hairs that come out, they start out white when they're in their first part of the growing cycle. And here's a little tip for you. For sativas, if you want a really high energy sativa, you want really white. I think those are called stymon hairs. I might be wrong on that, but they're not, that's not terpenes themselves. The terpenes are all over the plant in the oils and in the flavoring and the smell, and every part of it has terpenes in it. That's why when terpenes are extracted and the product that they use to extract it, they don't just use high quality bud. They use many parts of it to extract the terpenes because you get it from different areas. Terpenes, let's make it clear. Let's say, so you get terpenes as a byproduct of BHO production usually, or PHO, which are like butane hash oils or like other types of condensed shatter or oils. And what happens is if you distill the THC down far enough, what happens is the terpenes will be coming off separately and you can collect those. And if you have a big enough batch of the same strain, you can, yeah, trichomes. I think that's what Amy's thinking of. No, maybe. The white hairs. So if you wait, see, I'm reading on it. And trichomes, I'm reading the chat, by the way. Amy's is, yeah, that's the perfect thing. Like, you need to know who's growing your pot ideally, and that's where you get the best thing. But uh so, and again, you can absolutely get distilled THC by the milligram dose, which is made by regulated companies, and absolutely, you can get effective pain relief and help in some ways from it. However, what the big thing, oh, that's what I was saying. Okay. And this is why. Okay. When you make butane hash oil, for example, you might have a pound of pot and you might get less than an ounce, way less than an ounce of terpenes. So the is it stymons? So what I'm saying is like the terpene availability when extracted is so small comparatively to the flavor and taste that it imparts in the form of the plant. And so what happens is it's extremely expensive if you want to buy actual marijuana grade terpenes that are you know what they are. First of all, I would first of all, I would have some questions because you can suss out people that think they know. Because here's the thing, you can buy terpenes, like mango flavored terpenes that are food grade terpenes. Okay, what that means is they've been tested to be put in food. Okay, but they have not been tested for inhalation. And so when you find a cheap distillate THC product that has a very, very strong fruit flavor, mango, blueberry, pineapple, even, you will find that if you ask, they often are made with food grade terpenes rather than marijuana terpenes, and you want to stay away from that. You go for what's called a full spectrum product, and that means they've left the terpenes in or they've re-added them back in. And at the very least, that's where you want to go. I Yeah, and so Zeisifer, what you can also track is the color of the stamens as they develop in the plant cycle's growth tracks from bright white at the beginning to a deep dark red on some plants. And when the cut down and the flush and all the stuff that needs to happen for a proper plant to be harvested happens is a science in itself that I personally don't know that much about. I um, learned all that um, like the problem with legalization in Canada. I managed a dispensary before legalization, but it was a storefront dispensary where you could walk in and deal with, good quality product. But it was pre legalization and regulation. Once the regulation came in, they've unfortunately made it very difficult to quality control in any measure at all. Most dispensaries that you go to, the thing you want to ask is, okay, when was the product that you're going to sell me packaged? Because they'll usually have a packaged date on there. A lot of the time, they are very old products because product doesn't move very well. I've So does pressing your own rosin preserve the terpenes? So yes, I had an industrial rosin press for a long time in my living room. And so when you first start pressing rosin, it is the best method of getting um, a dab, like a dab or an oil item that you can use to get THC at home without any chemicals. So when you do rosin, as opposed to resin or as opposed to oil. Rosin is created by using heat and pressure. Okay. So what you do is you take butcher's paper or parchment paper and I'm not kidding you guys right now when I explain to you that I have pressed thousands of buds of THC in the rosin press. Thousands. Anyways, so and I did a lot of research onto it. The key factors are humidity, um, the size of the bud, and the temperature of the press when you press it and how long you press it. The reason that rosin you will find not really common anywhere isn't because it's not good. It's because it's not scalable on a massive scale. So you cannot, I repeat, you cannot mass produce rosin. It doesn't matter if you get the biggest bag and the biggest rosin press, you will lose all of it. You will not get it. So but what that means is that if you are at home doing it on a small scale, it's actually perfect if you have access to good quality bud. So what most people start with is a hair straightener. So an old hair straightener, go to your thrift store or like the used store nearby, and they'll probably have an old fashioned hair straightener. You want one with big paddles like this, as flat as you can. And ideally one with temperature control on it. But at this point, you're not going to be worrying much about temperature control. Now, what you do is you take the parchment paper, and the ideal size of a nug is about 0.25 of a gram. So that's 1/4 of a gram. And you take that and you put it in between the parchment paper, and then you stand on it. This is how you do it, like with the hair straightener. You stand on it for like 3 seconds. What happens is then you're left with paper. So the paper that you use has to look sort of like this. It's like a brown butcher's paper. It's what you do after with you basically take out the absolutely flattened piece of bud, and when you remove that piece, just around where that piece was pressed, you'll start to see this absolutely beautiful shining like rosin basically on the paper. And how much rosin you get depends on the product that you start with, the temperature, and the humidity in it at the time usually. So what oftentimes I would do, I've actually made purple rosin before from purple weed, where I actually got it to come out purple, which is very difficult to do. But um super low yields for rosin. Absolutely. It's absolutely ineffective for on a large scale, but it is great if you like to dab and you have access to good quality weed, because what you'll find is every strain is very different, and even strains that you're like, this will be amazing, sometimes they really don't produce a lot of rosin, whereas some other ones, like, they pour. And what happens is you get sort of addicted to it. So I started out and I bought a little bit of paper, and then I went and I bought a full um 1,000 sheets of butcher paper, and I sliced them. I did thousands of presses, thousands. Anyway, so what happens is the rosin is on the paper, and you have a marble. Usually you have a marble piece of marble, and you put that down, the paper down on top of it, and you take this tool right here, which is a dab stick, and you will run it around the paper and pick up the rosin. Now, depending on many things, the rosin will be from sticky and sappy and hard to get off the paper to flaky and almost impossible to pick up as well. And so you have to, it's very hard work to harvest a good amount of rosin from it. Like, you can do it, absolutely, but it's a project of passion and love. Nowadays, like when I first started pressing rosin, I became like over obsessed with it, and I was documenting humidity, time, temperature, yield, in all these books with all the different weed that I had access to at the dispensary, and then through my partner who was growing at the time. And it was really, really awesome because there's no chemicals involved in it whatsoever. And yeah, it's a great way to get good quality, like, dab materials, basically. Cold plate for that. Yeah, but I don't like having cold plates. I already have a freaking rosin press in my living room at that time, right? So what I would do is the marble stays quite cold, and the reality is that the press and the paper gets very temperature up very fast. There's nothing on the paper. It's minute. And I'm telling you, I've done it. You can go as big as you want. You can take that giant nub, and you know what? That giant nug, sorry. You can take the giant nug and you can put it in there. I bought the tea bags. I bought the special sacks and sewed them all together. And I thought rosin has decent shelf life, but the problem is to collect it, you can't do that. You need to sort of be there. It's difficult to collect on a mass scale. But like, I still have thousands of sheets with probably rosin and different things on them. But anyways, you can take the giant nug and put it in the press at anything, and you wish that you wish that it's going to stream out, but I guarantee you it's never going to be better yield than at like 0.25 of a gram at like 62% humidity. That's really your sweet spot. Oh, I'm going to do a dab in just 1 second. I'm waiting for the dab rag to heat up. So, next time we have to go to the next item on the list. Migrants in Canada. This is going to be quick. Somebody said, "Oh, do migrants come to Canada and die?" Unfortunately, yes, because we have a bad weather situation here in Canada, in the middle and the other side, not my side. And people come here and they get somehow into the States, and then somebody that is unscrupulous and an asshole fucking convinces them to get off and walk across the border in the goddamn snow with babies and backpacks and no clothes, and then they die and they freeze to death, and it makes us all really sad. Very sad. No, rosin is stable enough to handle like shatter, but in a different way. So like this is a rosin type consistency, so you can see it's more like a batter or like you could pick it up, but it's going to leave a bit there. Then this is shatter, and the reason they call it shatter is and here's the other thing about shatter, right? It's BHO, butane hash oil. I'm not going to repeat how to make it. I think you guys should trust me on the fact that I already know I could tell you how you make it. Regardless, the key factor is that there's butane that is used to create it, and there's always going to be some residual butane. So if you get shatter that's really bubbly, you got to be careful. That's not good. You like that, Mikey? So you don't want super bubbly shatter. If you have a dab rig or an e-nail, when you have shatter that you haven't tried before, take a little piece first, hold it over top of the heat element and let it just sort of splatter. And if it's splattering, that's bad. You don't want that. Dawn, by the way, am I impressing you with my knowledge? Okay, grief. Third thing, grief. Well, just like we have to worry about the people migrating and being sad, and make it clear, we're not upset about them coming. We're upset about people taking advantage and not treating them proper. Aw, thank you, Toby. You're so sweet. I appreciate that so, so much. Thank you so much. What I was going to say about grief is that sometimes it is uncomfortable and you don't even realize that you're sad about certain things, or you don't feel as sad as you should. But the reality is that sentence is wrong. There's no should or proper way to feel about any situation for any person because every person processes differently. So do what makes you feel best and do what makes you feel the most supported. And if you don't know what to do, have a place where you can go and say, I need some help, like here. Because that's the type of thing we would be able to help with and say, well, we can talk with you about anything. Okay? Last thing. Who was from New Zealand? Somebody was from New Zealand earlier. I'm going to mute this. I'll be right back. I want the New Zealander to come out in the chat, please. Okay. So, Lightfoot. I'm aware of Carrotland and its existence because of some of my other favorite YouTubers. I don't know if you've ever heard of the dynamic YouTube duo, Credence and Mikey first, because I love them, baby. But also, I was actually referring to Jolly, which is two guys named Josh and Ollie. And the reason I ask that is because Josh, his last name happens to be Carrot, okay? And Ollie is his best friend and like does cool things for him. And man, if we could watch this together without me getting copyrighted, I would totally do it, but we can't. So I will give you the TLDR. They're like bestest friends. Josh is already a famous YouTuber because he's the Korean Englishman. And Ollie is like his silly sidekick. But they developed this English channel together called Jolly. And they do lots of fun things. Lots of fun things. They were just in Texas. Literally, they're just in Texas. Fair use works if I pause and commentate. Really? Does it? Well, I want to show you part of this because it's so funny. I don't really care about monetizing the videos like that anyways. That's not how I roll. Me and YouTube Daddy are getting to know each other differently. Anyways, so Josh and Ollie, I guess the way to sum them up is like Ollie is a nerd, like us in a way. And he likes to make Josh happy. That's his best friend. And so he goes the extra mile when he comes up with a gift for him or like a thing. So, so okay. Okay. I guess it's so hard to know where to start for this story. Here, we'll start here. So, absolutely, totally under fair use and in absolute awe and majesty of all of the OGs of Jolly and Credence and Mikey, begging permission not to get me in trouble. I want to show you guys firstly, the title of this.
For months, I've worked with a team of comedy writers to secretly write.
So you can see here, it's called I Secretly Wrote and Published My Best Friend's Autobiography. I think I can too. I'm going to do it like this. Now I need to do this and then move over here. I need to fix my lighting too, so.
Write my best friend's autobiography in his own words. Today, on his birthday, he's about to become a globally published author, and he has no idea.
Okay, so TLDR, the guy on the screen with the white shirt is Ollie, and he is the one I identify best with. Let's put it that way. And then Josh is the guy coming in. And so, and this is the set of their show. They are based in England at the moment. And they, anyways, they often do episodes where each of them plan it, but don't tell the other one what's coming. And then they are sort of surprise episodes. It's fun. Anyways, we'll take a peek at this episode here. I wish I was at my other kitchen because I actually have some fun parts of this I've participated in.
What is going on? Hi, I'm Josh.
I'm Ollie, and today is Josh's birthday. I'm 3 today.
I'm 32, thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely did that on purpose. I wanted to do something extra special for your birthday this year.
Okay. I have literally no idea what's coming.
I embarked on a project for this episode.
Oh dear Lord.
That is bigger than any other project I have undertaken for either channel.
No way is that true.
Your present today is the product of literally hundreds, maybe thousands of hours of work. Involving dozens of people all around the world. Josh, happy birthday.
What?
Can I just say, I'm so nervous.
Yeah, I can tell.
I am
You're like shaking.
Yeah, I'm like,
what is going on?
Open it.
Okay. Feels like a book.
You are about to become the first person in history to unknowingly write and publish your own autobiography?
Shut
A couple of months ago, I commissioned a team of ghostwriters on Fiverr.
No!
Okay, so this is the part that got me. So first of all, I purchased this book. The book that's on the table that they have there, I bought it. I bought it off Amazon right away. So, I'm a supporter. Nobody here is fucking watching this without being a supporter. I'm a supporter. I bought the goddamn book. I had it shipped to Canada. Okay? So anyways, but Josh and Ollie, you have to understand that Ollie, they are the most innocent little boys in the world, okay? They're so sweet and like they would not do well in the chat. That's it. Like that's just saying it, okay? Um, they're just blessed little souls and they don't always think of the bad, naughty things that other people do. And so you're gonna really laugh when this happens. I laughed so hard. And then okay, I just have to let it play and then we will talk about what what I did after this.
I wasn't aware at the time, but unfortunately, their specialism was erotic fiction. And what came back, I'm not gonna lie, honestly wasn't publishable. So I've worked with Jenny and Andy, our friends.
Can I go check it out? Did they blur it? Premium HD enhanced bitrate. What the heck is that? No, they've literally blurred it, so I can't read it because I wanted to read it so bad. He by accident commissioned erotic fiction writers to write the autobiography. And remember, he gave them an idea of the story. So good. Anyways, I don't know what the 1950 show This Is Your Life is like, Jacqueline, but I wish this was my life, apparently. Well, I'm good now. I'm feeling a lot better. But thank you for the reminder. Okay, let's continue because he does a little description here of realizing he needed to get a rewrite.
I honestly wasn't publishable. So I've worked with Jenny and Andy, our friends.
You have to rewrite!
Every evening and weekend over the last 6 weeks. I then worked with our friend Ben, who's the designer on the front cover. I listed a company called the Book Refinery to typeset it, and they found us a publisher, Compass Publishing.
You're joking.
And all I need you to do is sign a few pieces of paper. And by the time this video is released, it will be available on Amazon worldwide. You're a published author. Congratulations.
Oh my god. It literally says my YouTube autobiography, which I definitely wrote all of.
Once Upon a Time in Carrotland.
Squad goals, guys. Once Upon a Time in Cortland. My YouTube autobiography.
I'm so overwhelmed right now.
Josh, we got to recreate the picture on the cover of me giving you the book.
That's why you made me wear a pink t-shirt, because I'm wearing a pink t-shirt. This is like a legit book.
Yeah.
Ah, you've got in bloody pictures from our past.
Yeah.
Like pre-YouTube past.
Turn to page 108.
108. As I cradled this symbol of our eternal bond, I choked back a tear, imperceptibly, turned to Ollie and said ecstatically, "This is the greatest gift of all time."
Thanks, man.
Kabooyah, kabooyah. I say again, but with more gusto. Kabooyah! My mind was racing like a carrot racing car, and yet there was a pregnant pause.
A pregnant pause. One day, Credence and Mikey. Mikey, baby, one day we will. I see it. Seriously, though, Ollie is great. He does all of their special advertising. His NordVPN ads I don't think they'll copyright me for playing an ad, right? I literally will play the ad after this because it is so funny.
I could see on Ollie's face there was something he was holding back. He was literally holding something behind his back.
The book was only the first half of your birthday present.
Shut up!
Open this so that the prophecy may be fulfilled.
What prophecy?
You have to read the book to find out.
What is happening? Dear Josh, on behalf of the Oakuni Carrot Adventure Park Trust, I would like to congratulate you on the publication of your autobiography. I would also like to express our gratitude for committing to funding a new statue in the Oakuni Carrot Park from the proceeds of the book. I have been in contact with Ollie, and he is confident that your fans, the Jolly Beans, will buy enough copies to make this dream a reality. Signed, Dave Scott, developer of Oakuni Carrot Adventure Park. In brackets, Carrotland. What? So many questions.
I think we can get some answers. Dave Scott, the proprietor of Carrotland, is on the line. Dave, how you doing?
Wait, before Dave comes out, seriously, and so you have to keep in mind, Josh, his last name, the guy on screen right now, his last name is Josh Carrot, right? And so he's already, like, it's just hilarious. And they've been to Carrotland, and the funniest part was they went to Carrotland in New Zealand and made one of their least successful videos ever. Yet it is like, you know when you got a cult classic? Anyways, that people don't understand. It's hilarious. So, and the book is written, yeah, I imagine too deep. And again, I hope everyone, I don't understand the rules to make sure that they understand I'm doing this in absolute, like, admiration and, like, just to share their stuff as much as possible and to show you how happy it makes me, honestly. So Carrotland, and this is why I said it, because there's somebody in the chat from New Zealand who explains Carrotland is this, okay, well, hold on. We're going to talk to Dave from Carrotland right now. That's the only answer here.
It's on the phone.
Hi, Josh.
Hi.
Happy birthday, Josh.
Hi, thank you.
You're our carrot man. You're our real human carrot man. Also, a big hi from Muncho.
Muncho is the main character in Carrotland, and he also is a main character in the book.
Okay.
He is your imaginary carrot best friend who lives on your shoulder and guides you through life.
But he's our prophet.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he
he's the
expects you
prophet.
back.
Yeah.
I see. Has Dave read the book?
I mean, Dave and I, we go way back.
Since when?
2017.
When Grace went back to New Zealand, I asked her to try and get in contact with the people who ran Carrotland, and she managed to make contact with you, Dave, and then we've been kind of talking on and off with this project.
This is really quite overwhelming. So, Dave, have you ever met anyone with the name Carrot before?
No, not with two T's.
Okay.
But Josh, thank you very much for your kind sponsorship for this huge sculpture we're going to build.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. I mean, you're welcome.
Dave, have you got a message for the Jolly Beans who might be tempted to buy this book?
The Jolly Beans, I ask you to support our carrot man here because we want this new statue in our Carrot Adventure Park. I'm standing Grace for 2 books, $100 New Zealand.
Wow.
Wow. Thanks, Dave.
So I hope your jelly beans here get the message.
Yeah, listen, Jolly Beans, Dave's putting his money where his mouth is.
Yeah.
Just when it comes to monetary figures, we only work in tens.
Oh, okay.
That's
Of
helpful.
thousands.
Okay. Just in case there was any doubt.
Josh, did you get your present, your T-shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what present?
Are you serious? This is from New Zealand.
Oh my goodness! Wow!
Let's put them on.
This is Muncho, is it?
This is Muncho.
Moncho.
Yeah.
Josh, I hope you know what an overdraft is, because it's going to cost a lot of money.
I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words because I'm just so thankful for all of your support throughout this book writing journey that I was completely aware of.
Go, you jolly guys.
All right,
I
thanks,
appreciate
Dave.
it, Dave.
Okay, so firstly, I want to show you their oh, I should give them a sub off this channel. I'm trying not to anyways, y'all know what
Recently, we had a chance to go to LA, and we
No,
reached
not
out.
yet. So they went to Carrot Land. They both had an incredible time. The video was an absolute flop. Just not popular. But every year they commemorate the video with a Carrot Land video. I just want to show you part of this. Didn't I say it was like 8:30 earlier? Now it's like 10 o'clock. Yeah. I'm a time sucker.
Well, it's weird if you do it in your ears. I'm Josh.
Mikey,
I'm Ollie.
look at, first of all,
And we
look at where they were 6 years ago. I will drop the sub right now. It is Jolly. I'll get it right now. But seriously, look at the shack they were in 6 years ago. Before so hard work, you know? That's all I'm saying. Share. I'll copy the link of this video and I will put it in our chat, but I will play it now.
I'm not clinically insane. We're just jolly.
But today we are going to talk about a place. If places could be insane, this place would be insane. This is one of my favorite places that we visited in all of New Zealand.
You are an idiot.
I actually had to convince Josh to include this video in Jolly Season 2.
Are an idiot.
Because when we watched it back, I thought it was the funniest thing that I've ever seen, and he thought it was terrible.
You're an idiot. You had to convince me to go there in the first place.
Well, if we were driving...
So again, they are so great. Jolly, you should register immediately. No, go sub to them. Absolutely. Some of their favorite stuff that they do, and why I was saying earlier, like they're nice, like innocent guys. One of their best friends who lives with them is a priest, a reverend, actually, a hot reverend. I know, it's really confusing for me. Really confusing. Anyway, so they do these things where they go, Rev Chris, and then like he reacts to different memes and stuff. So those are well worth watching as well. But so this is a way older video. This is the original when they're talking about posting the Carrot Land video, but you can see the studio has evolved.
Past. We wouldn't have gone out of our way to go there. But when you
For good
drive
reason.
past a place like this, there's two kinds of people. There's people that stop and have the time of their lives.
And then there's people that have lives.
Okay.
The place that we went to is in this town called Ohakune, which I'm probably butchering the pronunciation entirely.
So this is like near the Tongariro Crossing, which is this
Yes.
big long hike. It's where they filmed Lord of the Rings Mount Doom, and we hiked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like dire news. They're amazed by
They are not gay. They are
To the-
best friends. Um, there's an ongoing joke that Ollie is the first wife because he and him have been best friends longer than Josh has been married to his wife, Gabby, who was a finalist on MasterChef. Yeah. And also has a YouTube channel like with 1 million subs, but was shut down, but then restarted. Reverend's totally can marry. He's married. He went on I'll show you guys Rev Chris's trip in a minute. Oh my God. Nobody ever watches these with me. They're like, I'm sorry, I don't have time to watch. So if all of you want to leave because you don't want to watch, that's totally fine. But some of you want to watch, and this is so fun.
Birds of all carrots grown in New Zealand are grown in this little place.
No?
Look, there. I mean, it's like dire news. They're amazed by that news. There's an alarm going off.
Well, one of the carrots escaped.
What is that alarm? What are you talking about? Me.
Yeah,
I
that's
escaped.
it. They're like, he's thinking of leaving this town.
So apparently this is also one of the most hugged big things in the world.
Sorry.
Look, it's so huggable. Carrots are great. I love carrots. Apparently it's made from fiberglass. I'm gonna say, look, take a picture. I'm gonna send it to my parents. Dad, you're proud of me, aren't you? I'm carrying on the carrot family line in front of a giant carrot, the biggest carrot in the world.
If this was in England, someone would have stolen it by now.
What are we talking about? You can't just steal.
No, someone would have.
The biggest carrot in the world.
They would have found a way.
There'd be like a fence so you can't go near it.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to touch it.
No.
Definitely not. It's only a town of like 1,000 people. It's not like this is a big place. Like this is basically the main thing in this town.
This is their landmark.
Oh,
last name is Cook and my last name is Carrot. It's kind of unbelievable. If you put our two names together, it literally means 당근을 요리하다. How is that a thing? I think it means we're meant to be.
It does.
We're destiny. It's
Thing
fate.
is, with you,
It's
I
fate.
remember we had a conversation where I was like, oh man, your mum must have been annoyed that she married someone with such a weird name.
Yeah.
And then you were like, well, my mum's maiden name was Moon.
Yeah, Moon.
Moon.
Moon is a very common name in Korea.
Yeah, but not in England. That's weird. So Tangen and Tai.
So 당근달.
당근달.
Hey, we could name our kid 당근달.
당근달.
It's not big at all.
No.
문당근.
Is Gabby vetoing it?
Oh, 국당근. Why not? These are great names. All right, we should go check out what else is in this. That you look like a potato. They actually said you look like mashed potato, and this is a muscular potato.
Does this look like me?
I mean, surprisingly so. Lizzie's just dying.
Does it look like me?
Yeah.
Confirmation.
You
from
married
Lizzie.
a potato. Oh.
What?
We're not finishing yet.
What are you talking about? How is this not done?
Come on, Josh.
Oh no, this is not going to be fun. All right, be careful, be gentle.
Last time we were on a swing, it was in Korea, and I broke it.
Oh yeah, your end, the seat snapped off. That was embarrassing, Ollie. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. This is a benefit of being a little bit heavier than Ollie. Guys.
진짜 콩가네.
They've been very successful on their other main channel, where they introduce people to Korean like culture. They did one with David Beck. They did one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. They did one with Will Smith. They did Ryan Reynolds. Was hilarious. And then they do yeah. It's just they've definitely capitalized on it, but they have a really down to earth way about them. And then okay, so I'll give us, of course. And like. Oh god. I'll go back and like it in a minute. Please remember to like videos, guys. Apparently it's important. There's one last video I'll show you of theirs. Well, I don't know if I can say that. Let's see what their most popular video is. So that's their friend, the priest, and he's a twin with an army major, and they both there's ads on the video. That's crazy. That's good to know. Wife versus best friend, who's the true soulmate. I watched this video quite a bit. English gentleman tries the moldiest cheeses in the world. But, oh gosh, what I really wanted to see was VPN. I'll watch it on their channel.
Hi, I'm Josh.
I'm Ollie, and today we bought each other some jolly Christmas presents.
Oh, it's that time of year again.
It is, man.
I thought I'd start us off.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, sure, man.
Because this last year has been a pretty epic season of Jolly.
Check it out. We do live streams every week. Bonus content like this that I know you're all gagging for.
Whoa, okay. There's a QR code on the back. What does that do?
Scan it for a bonus track.
Are you serious?
We literally finished it, and I was like, wait, guys, if we put a QR code, he'll definitely scan it.
Yeah, it's not got it. I'm gonna have to
All right.
the other channel. Here's the thing. The other guys that were like instrumental is Good Mythical Morning, and like I have their books as well, multiple books. I've been to their shows, like, yeah, their live shows. I'm losing viewers left, right, and center. That's
Today, we have a little message from our sponsors.
yeah, Rhett and Link. I love Rhett and Link. I love Rhett and Link. 1v4, I don't think that's what that's at. That doesn't seem so. I'm gonna restart the stream after I play this, but Rhett and Link are. I was in the mythicals. Hold on. Don't leave home without that. Okay.
Big shout out to NordVPN. Now, the last time they sponsored a video, you kind of just went away with the whole message.
I've got this.
There's somebody spying on you. There's somebody spying on you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Who's gonna rescue you?
What is that?
VPN! It's time spent on a VPN because the man is holding tight. Stay anonymous, stay autonomous. Privacy's your right. So come with me to Discount City and grab yourself this deal. Save 70% to the first month free. You better believe this is real. it's $14.99 a month. You can't put a price on privacy. Well, Nord just did, and it's surprisingly low. 4,231. I just did the math on Google, yeah. Just type in the coupon code KEMAN to access this offer. Nord VPN.
Oh my gosh. What the heck was that? Thank you, Nord, for sponsoring this video. Play the video. Play the video.
Damn it. I don't know what I said half the time. What I did say is I'm going to stop this stream shortly and move on to the next one. If you want to join us, we're going to be playing some word games. I just have to change the settings a little bit. We're going to have a great time. We're probably going to be watching Court, but I'm not sure because look at how it works with me. I'm ADHD. Now I'm not muted. Anyways, I'm going to end the stream. I'll start a new one. Come on back if you'd like to join us. Like I said, I really don't know what we'll be watching, but I do have a few channels that you need to subscribe to today. Firstly, Credence and Mikey, We Got a Case, We Got a Chase. That trio right there has been at the top of my list for a long time. So that's an absolute must. Then we've got Jolly, which, like, yeah, they don't need me to shout them out, but I'll do it anyways. Like I said, anybody can come to the kitchen. So sub to Jolly as well, because wasn't that a great Nord ad? Like, hilarious. Anyways, okay. I love y'all. I'll be in the next stream. Give me 5 minutes, and yeah, have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Atomic Shrimp. Yes, just name your favorite YouTube channels. Woohoo! I love it. Bye.